You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
3,
World premiere.
2, 1. Welcome, campers, to another episode of the Campfire Gaming Podcast. My name is Mike, and I will be your host tonight. Welcome back, Mike. Oh, thanks, guys. Wonderful to see you, too. With me, as usual, I've got Dan. What? You're not usual. Why are you here? Matt and Chris, Gentle Feathers, dudes of the night. How are we hanging?
Low and lazy.
I was going to say welcome back, but you beat me to it, so, you know.
It's fair.
Yeah, you did kind of take the thunder away from that.
There went all the energy.
That was a great intro. I don't have to put in opening music
Man,
anymore. He made it for us.
Sucked it right out of you.
Wait, are we going to have to start calling him Colin Robinson?
Is that hence the limpness? Because I sucked it right out of you.
Welcome back to the show, Mike. We've missed you.
Excellent.
Oh.
Today's show, we're going to talk some Gamescom. I might sneak in a little bit of Pokemon Unite at some point, but we'll see. That's a surprise for when we start to cry about another game. We'll talk some Gamescom. We'll talk some opening night live and some game awards, because those were something. Dudes, where do you want to get started? We want to start by pimping these websites. All right, I guess we'll start there, guys. So, if you're new to the show...
Hey, that's my line, damn it.
If you're new to the show, check out our website, campfiregamingpodcast.com. There you could join our Discord. There's a lot of people there now. It's kind of fun. We get some lively chats going. Angry chats, too. Cheapers.
Yeah, we were talking prequels, sequels, and what was it?
Spin-offs.
Interquels.
Yeah,
Interquels.
interquels, which is a thing.
Dude, I was totally surprised when I Googled, can a sequel be a prequel, right? And it was like, no, but there's this word interquel, which is one that is both. And I'm like, well, crap. I mean, that kind of
Wouldn't that be a pre-sequel?
Pre-sequel is not a word.
Yes.
Sorry,
Gearbox
Randy
made one.
Pritchard lied to you. Which he's probably also lying about the Borderlands movie, but we don't need to
but
go there
give it
yet.
a chance. It could be good. It's going to be great, guys. It's going to be fantastic.
We are also on Twitter at Camp Game Pod, and our Insta is Campfire Gaming Podcast. Also, we're on YouTube. Chris is over there working his butt off, trying to make some super cool content. And I actually think he streamed a reaction to the Xbox stuff, or part of all of this Gamescom stuff. I don't know. He did something. It's really cool. Go check it out on YouTube as well.
Yeah, and I promise I didn't fall asleep during the Xbox one.
Did you?
I wanted to. It's so boring.
Let's preface that, I guess, if we're going to get into it, is if you didn't watch this was a lot. I guess it was kind of what I expected. This is a lot like what we saw at E3, right? They're just kind of playing it safe, just talking about games that are recently out or going to be coming very soon. So there wasn't like any big bombs dropped. There's not like, there wasn't any world premiere.
There was. Oh no, that was today's.
Have we even said what event this is?
Oh, this is
the Xbox stream.
But I mean, like, what is this all for?
Gamescom.
Yeah,
video games.
We said Gamescom a couple of times.
Okay, yeah. I missed it. That's my fault.
Hold on, Chris.
What?
Gamescom.
Oh, okay.
Official Xbox stream.
Oh.
Gamescom is usually a in-person show. I've never been in there, but I kind of feel like it's the E3 in Europe.
It's
maybe
more or less,
right?
yeah. And
It's
Cologne,
usually in,
Germany, which
Cologne,
would
Germany.
be super badass to go to.
I wanted to go, and then a pandemic's gotten in the way that last year and this year. So,
I'm a little disappointed that there wasn't more like disco stuff going on, because that's how I always picture Europe, as like nightclub disco stuff happening.
That's just Amsterdam.
Isn't that all of
Germany's
Europe?
got some good dance clubs. It's not don't knock down Germany.
Oh, I'm not knocking Germany. I mean, Rammstein comes from Germany.
That's
There's
true.
some wild
They have some
individuals.
interesting dance parties. Interesting.
We'll talk about dance parties later too with some game awards, which was interesting. But Matt, Gamescom, Xbox, keep us on track.
Why do I have to do that?
It's your job.
And I've already talked about it.
So this was okay. So it's me. So this was the official.
Wait. Let's put it this way. I am kind of like the train conductor, but I have never stayed on the rails. Like I just open that thing up, shovel as much coal as I can, and let it go. Somebody's got to kind of steer the ship. You know, you're the dude hanging off the side of the thing, making sure to hit the right track switchers, right? So,
Would it be safe to say you're the conductor of the poop train?
Toot.
You can call me
We're already
Krieg
so
from
far
now
off
on.
the rails.
You can call me Krieg from now on.
I think we'll get into poop trains later with Halo, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
So-
for now, we're gonna be at like the Polar Express or something.
So this was the official Xbox stream from Gamescom. It was kind of like, I guess, really like their stream at E3, right? It was their press conference, digital press conference before Gamescom actually started here. Today is Wednesday the 25th, so you'll be hearing this on probably is that 28th, 29th, 28th?
28th.
So by that point, the rest of Gamescom will be over. So maybe some of this news will be irrelevant. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some cool stuff. But yeah, so they kind of went through a bunch of the games coming out, third party, first party, made some announcements. I guess we can get started with some of the highlights that we saw on the show. Again, if you want to see some reactions, Chris has done a good reaction video that's up on our YouTube. But we'll kick it off here with Dying Light 2, Stay Human.
What kind of weird ass game was this? I think I jumped into Chris's stream while this one was playing.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of weird parkour, jumpy, like hammer fisting crap? Like, do you have superpowers in these games? I didn't think you had superpowers in Dying Light.
I mean, you kind of have superpowers in Dying Light. It's a little weird. It plays fast and loose with that kind of reality.
I mean, is it stuff just like kind of what Dead Island had, where it was really just improvements to your like character, but feels like stronger punches or whatever?
Even in the first one, you could still do a ground pound, which makes no sense whatsoever.
It was neat that he climbed up the zombie or whatever it was, right? And
then,
like, jumped off, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be really cool. And then he did a superhero landing, and I was like, oh, that's
it's a little ridiculous and over the top.
Gotta do the superhero landing, man. Even Deadpool still exists in the apocalypse.
I did make the comment during the stream that this is a game I desperately want to come off well, but I have a gut feeling it's gonna be rough.
This was supposed to come out. When was it? It was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah,
and it got delayed, and it's finally coming out here. God, I forget. It's in October, I believe.
Oh,
but
I took that off the notes. That's my fault.
No, way to go, ruining. Anyways, like I hope it's good too. I wasn't as big of a fan of Dying Light 1 as I was of Dead Island. When they made Dead Island, then they made Dying Light. I just didn't think the parkour brought anything to the series. It was also a little clunky. Maybe it's better now. It looks more fluid. Obviously, their design looks a lot cooler. They've introduced things with human factions. They say they've improved the verticality of the city, which would add, to give you a reason to kind of parkour around buildings up and down. But they've worked on and added a whole bunch more parkour moves. So maybe there's an even cooler ground slam now. Maybe you do like a backflip and. Like, what is it? Is it Mario? You hit with your, you press jump and then hit
down with your
X
butt.
and butt. Yeah, maybe they do that now.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
But like, I don't know. There just seems to be a bigger focus on the human side of the stuff, which again, I kind of away from the zombies. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I hope it's good because I like that kind of game, but I just have this odd feeling where I don't know. We'll see.
If they do the balancing act right between humans and zombies being like antagonistic, it could be really good.
I kind of feel it's going to be one of those like the big focus on verticality is a lot of humans have kind of moved vertically up off the lower levels, which is like owned by the zombies, right? I think during the day it'll be you'll
it's
be
mostly humans. You're
going to be fighting humans if you're fighting things at all, or kind of more like vegetable zombies that are just kind of the dumb zombies, right?
Cucumbers, tomatoes.
Yep, exactly. Think VeggieTales, but zombies.
Oh God, we have a game.
We come up with we should be writing these down. We come up with great games as we podcast.
VeggieTales Zombies: The Second Coming.
Yep. But then it's at night is when the more interesting zombies come out, and so I think it's during the day it'll be like fighting humans, maybe dumb zombies if you're down on the street, and then smart zombies at night. So I think it'll be just that kind of back and forth.
Did they show off any of the zombie types for like the nighttime thing? Were there like
a few this time, but a lot of them were shown off their last stream, I think, at E3.
I think it was a pre E3 thing that they did.
How close to like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood are these things? Are they pretty like? Is there like a smoker that like has a super tongue? Is there pouncy ones? Okay.
There's pouncy. The biggest thing in the Dying Light series is like you have the zombies of the recently deceased that are like ridiculously fast and will come chase after you, or they're at night the super zombies come out that are just will hunt you throughout the whole map until you go find a safe space to hide, which UV lights are your protection.
UV.
Yeah.
Which if it's like the first game, there's a whole bunch of UV traps around the city that you could use to kind of throw them off your trail.
I will say that it's a special level of terror when you're in the middle of the night and you could see their little radar things hunting you and you're just running your ass off to try to survive.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I hope it's going to be interesting, but it's just kind of one of those games I have a weird feeling about. Wait till it comes to Game Pass, right?
Well, it just seems too complicated. Like, it could be a very basic, simple game that just works, but they seem to be really complicating it with extra mechanics that doesn't need it.
I'm still in the boat. I want a Dead Island 2. I know that's in development by a different studio,
but we haven't heard squat forever.
But you'll hear it here when we hear news. When we hear it, we'll tell you. I don't know when we're going to hear it. But anyways. Yeah. Another big kind of highlight was Flight Simulator. I know this isn't a new game, but it's impressive the support they're adding to this. Since Gamescom takes place in Germany, their latest update in World Update 6 included Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So when they do that, they go through and kind of detail the maps around those areas better, or they add more detail to that area, as well as kind of they'll pick points of interest, different. What was it? What was that castle? It's the castle I told you, Mike, that you guys should get married in northern Germany.
That Disney castle?
Yeah, Disney. I forget what that's called. That like that's in there, but they'll put in like better models of that, right? So they'll find points of interest around these countries in these areas. They've been doing this in the previous world updates, but it's just kind of, I think, probably on purpose timing that the World Update 6 is going to be Germany since Gamescom is in Germany. So that update is coming September 7th. They did talk about how they're adding competitive racing and competitive racing.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Matt, were you referring to the new Schwanstein castle? Yeah.
That one. The Disney castle. Yep. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. They didn't show off the racing. They didn't talk too much about the Top Gun update, which was announced at E3, other than it's coming.
Yeah, they have to wait for the movie to come out first.
Right. My only real question about this game is, can I have like an air battle between Snoopy and the Red Baron?
No.
Can I fly the Red Baron's plane over Germany?
I don't think there's a Fokker DR1.
But to your point of adding planes, I'm not going to say they're going to add that specific one, but they did talk about with World Update 6, they're going to start I guess did they say what it was called? I'm gonna call local legend planes. So they're picking two air vehicle things. I don't want to say airplanes because one is an airplane and one is more like a helicopter kind of thing. But they're gonna, with these world updates, they're gonna start picking aircraft from those locations that like kind of mean something and kind of build up this museum of aircraft, old and new. It looks like, they started with, I'm not super familiar with planes, but an old German, it's Junkers Ju-52 aircraft. Just a really old plane, obviously not really used anymore, but they do the whole fancy, make it look awesome, try to one-to-one create the cockpit. So it's going to be exciting as they kind of continue to add some of these aircraft and helicopters. The other thing was this Volo City air taxi, which again looked like a drone / helicopter. Something that I think a German company is making.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I just looked it up. The Fokker DR1 is not in the game, but there are mods to add it in there.
Ooh.
Is the Millennium Falcon in there yet, or X-Wing?
I believe the X-Wing is via mods. I don't know about the Millennium Falcon.
Rocket Man?
Rocketeer.
Rocketeer would be badass. I'd be excited for that. I love that movie.
Yeah, screw Iron Man. We want Rocketeer.
Damn straight.
I wanted to be the Rocketeer so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was a kid, I made like a cardboard helmet and everything. It's pretty
terrible.
Yeah,
same here. I think I should check with my folks, see if they still have the toy.
Nice. I'll 3D print one. That's what I'm going to do now.
There you go.
3D print a Rocketeer helmet.
That's cool.
I'm only going to wear it.
Yeah.
I'm doing an Iron Man helmet with lights for the boy, so that'll be cool.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's really cool.
Nice. That'll be exciting. You'll have to take a picture, put them up on the...
It dislodges, like, if I put all of the mechanics into it, it actually, like, opens up itself and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So
that's really cool.
That's awesome.
We'll see. But I'll at least print it.
Nice. Chris, you're excited for this next game, aren't you? Tell us a little bit about it.
I mean, I think so it's Age of Empires 4, which in and of itself, kind of cool. Glad they're coming up with it. But at this point, the only thing they're talking about with the game is the historical documentaries attached to it, which, kind of cool, I guess, but I don't care.
Well, you can like actually see some of the battle ways that would have happened. Hopefully they'll talk about some of the like location specific tactics that were used. And then maybe you can start to like be like, well, I totally want to reenact that. Maybe I'll try it.
But I would argue that Age of Empires mechanics don't support those kind of battlefield tactics.
You can't move troops?
You can move troops, but terrain doesn't really matter, which definitely is a factor in real warfare.
No, it's not. You can go through the woods. Like, I've done it.
Yeah,
you can hide in the woods in this. I forget one of the civilizations can do that.
Yeah, one.
Well, it's supposed to be more accurate to them somehow, but in that situation, I don't know.
I think it's 8 civilizations, if I remember correctly, that they're going to start with. But they're not going to be like in some of the previous Age games where they're like kind of all the same, but there's maybe like a building or a unit or two that kind of separates them, or, you don't get this upgrade and, or that upgrade. They're trying to make them even more unique and play differently. So, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the game. The hands-on history stuff that they're doing does sound exciting. Mostly because, and the guy was really excited about this, and I was like, "Oh, this could be really cool too." Is medieval surgery? I'm like, that's going to be an interesting one of those history videos. Well, I don't think they're actually going to do it. They're probably just going to talk about it and how
it was awful.
Yeah, probably. I'm guessing.
I hope it's just a CG surgery. Like, here's what it looked like. They hit you in the head with a rock so you don't wake up. And start tearing India.
I mean, it was cool to see how a trebuchet actually works. Like that, I dug it, but it's still like, I just want to play the game. Just let me play the game.
Yeah.
No, you will learn something while you do it, Chris. Damn it.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's kind of been one of the things with the campaign and some of the other history stuff they put into it. That's been something Age has done.
That's not a new thing for them.
Yeah, they're just going a lot deeper with it.
But to your point, Chris, yeah, it's to the point where they're not showing really anything new or exciting. They've shown all of it, and now it's just like, okay, here's this other stuff. So,
keeping it fresh in people's minds is what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's coming out at the end of October on the 28th.
It's right around the corner.
It's going to be on Game Pass.
Ooh, I wonder if people are going to be playing that or Metroid. Dun, dun, bum, bum.
It's Metroid on Game Pass?
Yep.
Okay. Then I
would actually play a Metroid game.
It'll be out on the 8th, so it's far earlier. Of course, people will be playing Metroid first.
Probably. Speaking of Game Pass, we got a really sweet update for cloud gaming.
Is it a sweet update? I didn't get the update I wanted.
Game Pass on Switch?
No, I wanted it on the Android TVs. Like, skip the console entirely. I know it's like in progress, right?
Sure.
But I want it sooner than later. Skip the consoles and just give it to me on an app.
Is there a web browser on it? On your TV?
Yeah, there might be.
Go to xbox.com, cloud, stream, whatever I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but having native support is always better.
I don't know how well the TV is going to run the thing, right?
It's a fair question to ask.
I just, that's what I want. Like, compete with Stadia, give something on the TV itself that works with the Chromecast or whatever, and just
increments. That's all.
But as we've seen,
but they're picking the wrong increments. I don't care that they're doing it incrementally.
This is perfect for me.
But you have a series, like you already have the next console up, so none of this matters to you.
I disagree because
I know better. I know better.
No, this means I don't have to manage hard drive space, which I believe I've already complained about it at least a couple of times on the Discord.
No, so okay.
Or on the
what are we getting here?
We're not talk getting about what it is. Yeah. Let's talk about what it is. You're right. Xbox Cloud Gaming, right? Xbox One owners, so maybe not you Series folks, can play next-gen games via the cloud. So I don't know if that means that the Series X and Series S will get that.
They
did
said
not say it.
No, they did.
He's a dirty liar. They didn't say it.
This is coming to all consoles because the use case for it is you in theory can get better looking games or more performant games on your play on your Xbox One and have the games be more performant and through the Xbox Cloud. As far as kind of the use case for newer systems and also old ones is maybe you just want to try that cool game on Game Pass, but you don't want to spend the time downloading it. Maybe you're, whatever, right? You can just hop into cloud, try it out, and you go, okay, yeah, I'm going to make room on my hard drive for this. Or, hey, it runs just fine. I'm just, when I want to play it, I'll just play it on the clouds. So it's exciting, and it kind of fits into that whole game plan that I've been talking about for years now, where they want you to play wherever. And as weird as it sounds, now you can play Xbox games on Xbox via the cloud.
Well, you could play Xbox games at targeting 1080p with 60 frames per second, which is pretty nice. They're not shooting for 4K with this. That's not the goal, which is fine.
Which, as weird as it sounds, if this works really well on the Xbox One, for certain games you're going to be getting better resolutions and frame rates than if you played it locally via the hard drive, just because
the nature of the console.
Yeah, the nature of the hardware. But this is I think how they're going to be bringing actually Flight Simulator to Xbox One is via the cloud. I believe that's their plan. But it could be other games too. That could be Microsoft said they're going to continue to support the Xbox One for the future, foreseeable future. And I have a feeling this is the way they're going to do it. Instead of telling their developers, no, you actually have to create an Xbox One OG build. Good luck.
Makes sense. It's a smart way to handle the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't ever see myself like upgrading Xboxes anymore. I just want it on the One X or, sorry, I have a One, just a regular old one. or move it to the apps already. Like, let's just do it.
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's just
I know
timing at this point.
He's just disappointed.
It's just really hard to like know that it's there and not have it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be able to just walk in any room of my house that has like one of the 3 rooms in my house that has an Android TV and just be like, boop, doot, let's play, right?
So, it's coming. TM.
Is it? Did they announce it yet? Yeah, it's coming soon, actually. But anyways, have you guys played Wasteland at all?
For like an hour. That's about it.
That's like a tactical RPG-ish, right?
It's like a tactical. It's like Fallout Tactics is the best way I could explain that game. Which
I keep wanting to try it.
It's a top-down thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that isometric kind of. Yeah.
I keep wanting to jump into it. I just haven't yet.
It's not bad. It's not the game I want it to be, so I just got bored of it.
So, Wasteland 3 Cult of a Holy Detonation is coming October 5th. This is an expansion, I assume, because Wasteland 3 is already out. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
Honestly, I don't play a lot of these tactical games, but some of the stuff they were saying they were kind of changing to mix it up was interesting. A lot of it, though, didn't. It seemed new and exciting to me, but maybe somebody that plays the game is just like, yeah, who cares? Like whatever. They were talking about keeping people in combat more longer instead of, I guess, just having little, like, I'm going to say one-off encounters. Again, talking with no experience of the game, or I don't know last time I played a tactical game.
But I'm assuming with Wasteland, they probably killed off a lot of people and didn't keep like a reoccurring bad guy. Maybe like an organization. I don't know. I haven't played them. So maybe like an organization, kind of like The Walking Dead, they had like all kinds of different little factions. It was probably like you kept fighting with a faction, but it was never like the dude from the faction come up and be like, pew, pew, pew. And then, I'm going to make a tactical retreat. And then you have to fight him later.
Yeah.
Like that. So I'd assume it's like that. I don't know. If you ever played Fire Emblem, you're used to that. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully Wasteland 3 people are excited for this. It looked interesting. I thought the trailer was cool with all. And let me point something out. So we're getting all, like, the last couple of years, we've been seeing people experiment how they give us this content through the different live shows, right? The Gamescoms, the E3s, the Nintendo Directs. They need to find more developers, like the guy they had on talking about Wasteland 3. I knew nothing about the game, but that guy still made me excited for the game.
He was weird. Able to,
but he knew what he was talking about. It wasn't like one of those, like, right? It felt more genuine. Right, than somebody that came on, and not knocking some of the other developers or production or marketing people that come on to talk about games, but it feels like it doesn't feel genuine and not like they're really excited or really know what they're talking. This dude was like, who's one of us? He seemed like a fucking nerd, and he was excited to build this game and for you to play it. And I'm like, okay, I get behind this guy. So to me, I wish
how much did you work with producers when you were at our previous employer? Did you work with a producer quite a bit?
Not really, no.
Okay, so I was aspiring to get that role, and in talking with them, like doing interviews before they all moved out of state or whatever, they don't care most of the time. At least the ones that we worked with, they did not care about the game that they were like shoving out. Granted, it was Nintendo shovelware sometimes, like the Snoopy game, but they did not care. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's like, how much of it have you played? Because this is really broken and really awful. They're like, yep, who cares? Just make money. So it is refreshing to hear that somebody really had like a good passion for it and understood what they were doing with it. So,
and I think that's what I recognized watching this. Again, it's like this guy genuinely liked and knew about this game. I don't remember what role he was. I don't know if he was a developer, a producer, a lead of some sort, but like, he seemed excited. It seemed a little different than some of the other people that just, to your point, are just kind of.
Did he cry like the Mario Rabbids guy?
No.
That guy was passionate as hell.
No, he did not cry.
Yeah, bummer. Not enough passion. Are you guys excited for Forza 5?
You totally skipped Chris's bread and
Yeah,
butter.
he did that on purpose.
Honestly,
pokey.
Forza was
we're not talking about Forza yet. We're going back to stated.
It.
No,
okay.
Well, take a step backwards, Chris. The floor is yours.
Well, I mean,
that's enough. That's enough. Okay. Forza. No, I am kidding. Truly, go ahead.
I said this during the stream that I was disappointed it's not State of Decay 3 anything. It's just more. It's bringing State of Decay 1 into State of Decay 2, which, yeah, I do love State of Decay 2, but I don't need to return to Trumbull Valley. I want to go see what the new game is, and we still have no news out of it, which we know it's at least a year or two away, but still. But the new Homecoming DLC is coming up in a week. Actually, by the time you listen to this, it'll only be about 3-4 days away. So,
State of Decay 1, were you in like a foresty area for the see? I liked that one way more than 2. I felt
that's what they're going back to. I mean,
felt like it was better. Like, it felt a little more realistic of what somebody would do, like versus living in like a small in development area, like running to the woods and hanging out with your rifle and crew. Like, that just felt better.
So yeah.
I don't know.
There are new weapons unique to this location. 6 more bases in the location, including it looked like a county fair or something like that. So
cool.
It'll be kind of neat to see what it all looks like. Because if they keep following the trends, this should just be part of Game Pass, unless I missed that part. Because they've just been dropping all that for anyone that plays the game. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
I feel like you should have to shoot zombies with like a 30-06 from the Ferris wheel.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
That'd be a good time.
But yeah. I mean, I'm always glad to get some State of Decay content, but I want State of Decay 3.
Speaking, I'm going to derail us a minute here. I don't know if you dudes saw the of the Dead movie. What's the new Las Vegas one?
Army of the Dead. Yeah.
Army of the Dead. Have you seen the VR game for that?
No.
It's a mobile, like, they come to you, like, different areas to play it. We got to sign up for it if it comes here. It's like, do you remember the Mall of America thing, Matt? So I never did it. Yeah. The Mall of America, like Star Wars VR.
Yeah.
I think it's called Void was what it was.
Yeah.
Sure. These guys put you in a truck that looks all murdered out for like zombie killing, and then you've got guns and headsets, and you're like wired into the truck, and you basically have to like go around shooting through the windows, like trying to clear the way and things like that. Like, you get a mission to go rescue some people. You got to go in. Like, at some point, the doors rip open on you, and you got to like turn back and like the trailer's so freaking cool. If it's as good as it looks, I absolutely think we need to try it. But
what's this called again?
Something of the Dead VR.
Army of the Dead is the movie.
You get like, is it like an airsoft gun or paintball gun or something so you get that real feel of shooting something?
So you're
inside. Or is it just a light gun?
You're inside a taco truck, and you get some sort of something.
Do we get tacos?
You might. I don't want to start playing this because there might be audio. What is this?
Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, that's right. We do this live on the podcast for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Like, dude. Yeah, they're light guns, Matt. They're pretty life size though.
They look pretty heavy.
Pretty close to holding like
is it Viva Las Vengeance?
like an F-2000 or like a I don't know.
It's not an NES light gun. I don't want it. Click.
Oh, sweet! It's coming to Orlando.
Yeah, I figured a trip to visit Dan.
I'm down.
I'm trying to see if I can find a link for
like locations.
Oh, here we go. Minneapolis is on the list.
Does it say when?
No, it's. I'm looking at someone else's article about it. So
sounds like a company outing.
Here we go. Yeah, this will be a team building event that we need to.
Oh, absolutely.
we to do.
We'll do it up here in Minneapolis. Dan, you do it in Orlando, and then we'll do a podcast on it.
So as of right now, it just says future cities to be rescued, and Minneapolis is on the list. Does not look like they have. They do have a wait list we can join. So
do it.
We should get on it. Maybe reach out for like press.
Holy cow! Is that really?
Dude, that's the taco truck. Are you looking at the taco truck?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I'll send a thing on it on Discord if you guys want to check it out.
Here,
listeners and podcasters alike. It's super cool. Unfortunately, like either Dan, you have to come up here, or we have to go down there if we want to do a full party. But
we can work it out.
We'll figure it out.
Anything else? It in Slack for you guys.
Anything else, Chris, on State of Decay 2? Sorry to throw us off the rails, but that thing looks so cool.
No. If join our Discord, maybe we can do some group things in there because I'm always down to playing some multiplayer State of Decay. It's just
super duper
an older game.
Forza Horizon 5 coming November 9th. There's a new controller for it.
That controller is pretty sick.
I didn't care for it.
I like the translucent thing it's got going on.
Okay,
if it weren't for that, it wouldn't be nearly as cool.
I mean, it's a gorgeous game. Let's just start there. The game looks beautiful as all get out.
I don't know the last racing game I've tried, but this might be the first one. First Forza and first racing game in a very long time I try on my 4K TV Series X. The reason I say that is I've recently been playing Doom Eternal and their next gen upgrade, 4K 60, ray tracing, HDR. The game just blows my mind. It looks so good. So seeing that Forza Horizon 5 looks fantastic just in these trailers, I can't wait to get the 4K, the HDR, the ray tracing. Ray tracing is actually pretty cool. I know it's silly and we make fun of it all the time, but when you see it and you know what you're looking at, it's really cool. But
you clearly haven't played Mario Kart to really understand what you're missing.
Oh, in terms of, sorry, I thought we were still on ray tracing. I got really confused there for a second. In terms of racing games, yes, Mario Kart is pretty badass.
I'll bet you if there's have people modded that game yet, Mike? I'll bet somebody has a ray tracing mod out there.
Maybe. Going back to the controller a little bit, it looks like that thing should be from like the game Brink, not like Forza.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
It really just feels like it should be something. It looks cool and all, but
it just doesn't speak to me. I don't know.
Have you tried talking to it?
I haven't. That's a good point.
Communication is a two-way street.
Damn it. It's got me there.
Is Dan or anybody else? Who's played Horizon? Didn't you, Dan? Okay, you guys both.
I played the last two.
Did they have this airdrop thing before?
Only at the very beginning of, what was it? The last one, right? It was like they dropped you into England. And that
I forget how that one started.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of a cool way to start a race.
England isn't nearly as cool as a volcano, though.
No, it is not.
The only thing that they shut down Australia's servers so early. I feel like they only supported that one for like maybe 2 years.
The Hot Wheel tracks are freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, that one was so good.
The only thing that's dropping a vehicle from an airplane into a volcano is missing is Vin Diesel. So
yeah, that is true.
It looked.
How could they do this to family?
Well,
do you know this isn't a family game? That's why.
Actually, Forza Motorsports had a Fast and the Furious tie-in. I wouldn't be shocked if Horizon gets one.
Yeah, well, they had that standalone expansion or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it rated? Is it rated E for everyone though?
I believe it is.
Rated F for family.
For family.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool, and knowing that it's going to have all these cool tech stuff, I might actually try to download it on November 9th.
Yeah,
you should. Horizon's notoriously, it's more arcadey than the main Forza games.
It's so much fun to play.
Forza is more of a sim, where Horizon's more like of an arcadey one. So
yeah,
I don't like regular Forza, and I suck at regular Forza, but Horizon games are fun.
How close is it to Burnout 2?
Nah, it's nowhere near close to Burnout.
It's not that arcadey.
Yeah.
To me, Burnout 2 is the perfect racing game.
Yeah.
But it also tells you the last time I played a racing game.
Honestly, though, if you want to talk Burnout, probably one of the best, in my personal opinion, the best Burnout game they ever did was one that was on the PSP. Because it was literally like the best parts of Burnout 3 and the best parts of Burnout 2 put together in one game. And it was fantastic.
I realized why Vin Diesel's not in this one. He's fighting dinosaurs right now.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, right.
He's a little busy.
So it's kind of hard to go driving.
I don't know how I could leave family behind like that.
Yeah, but if anyone could figure it out, Vin Diesel's the person.
He always goes on missions, though, right? Like, his family is at home, but his family is also on the mission. So the world is like Olive Garden for him, right?
Yeah. If the world's such a garden, we need to get him on this podcast.
Yeah.
Did you say a garden or Olive Garden?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Okay.
The world is Olive Garden to him.
Do you understand why, Matt?
Where's my free
You
breadsticks,
understand.
damn it?
Because when you're here,
Your family.
That's it. I quit. I'm out.
All right.
The first time I saw that meme online, dude, I lost it.
that's kind of the end of the game stuff that we have here. Aside from Matt's going to lead us through a really quick fire, fast information on some games, but he's going to do it rapping, almost like a poker rap, but it's going to be a little different.
No, we already tried this where I make a funny voice or do something exciting.
This is rapping. You can do rapping.
Yeah, make it rhyme.
Nope. So we highlighted the key things from the Xbox showcase here, but they kind of talked about a few other things, but nothing too big and exciting. But here's kind of some of the highlights. So Humble Games are coming to Game Pass, 10 games in total. They showed off Into the Pit, which is a roguelike game that's coming October 19th. Sea of Thieves is getting a Mayhem event, Borderlands themed. You can go earn a new skin for your ship that's Borderlands themed. A third-person action RPG called Stray Blade that's coming next year. Crusader Kings 3 is being adapted for console with a release date coming soon, they said. I don't know why they said coming soon and just didn't leave it empty, but I don't know. Whatever. Psychonauts 2, they were really excited about this. It's out now. Go play it. It's probably a lot of fun. We're all having a blast playing the first one for our book club. So maybe we'll do this one next. The Gunk, which was a game they showed last year at E3, and we heard, I think, mostly nothing about it since then. They shot off a new trailer for it. It still looks pretty interesting, but we don't know much about it. And last, kind of some missing games, in my opinion, were Bright Memory Infinite, Scorn, and Crossfire X, which is kind of odd. We haven't heard anything about them for over a year now. So
I forgot they existed until you mentioned them.
Yeah, I was going to say two things. One, I forgot that those existed. And two, the Roots are disappointed in you.
They are, I'm sure. So is Boys to Men.
Terrible. Now that you've said them out loud, could you go back and rap them?
No. Nope. I was already tripping and stumbling through talking. That's true. How could I go back and try to rap?
You just got to be like, hey, it's the quick fire games. We're jumping into the pit with Sea of Thieves. Don't catch a stray blade because Humble Games are coming to Game Pass. You got a Crusade? Well, I got some Kings for you with Crusader Kings 3. Don't be a Psychonaut 2. Ugh. Excuse me. I have to clear the gunk out of my throat. It's coming this December.
Dan, you can cut my bit and just leave his in. There you go.
That was not good in any way, shape, or form. No.
It had rhythm, though. It had rhythm.
It had a rhythm.
It was off rhythm.
We call that off tempo.
Off tempo. Look at that. Making rhymes all the times. Gamescom. Yeah. So we also had Opening Night Live happen, right? That was a today thing. Mm-hmm. For those of you, it's the 25th of August. So a few days down the line when you'll hear this. But we had another show hosted by Jeff Keighley.
No, it wasn't Jeff Keighley. It's Jeff Knightley.
Jeff Knightley. I'm so sorry. That's right. Unfortunately, Chris can't keep...
I'm bad with names.
Chris is kind of like Jeff Keighley with Star Wars. He doesn't know their names. Like 3PO and Jar Jar.
God, it bugged me so much.
Sorry to take that from you, but it fit.
Yep.
So if you've seen a Jeff Keighley show, you've seen a Jeff Keighley show. You kind of have an idea what it's going to be like. I think it's getting better. I think he's starting to kind of pull. Maybe he's taking the feedback and adjusting it, but this wasn't as like, oh my God, please stop it as some of the other ones. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy to see that going along. Also saw a name that I haven't seen in quite some time, maybe because she just fell off of YouTube or I don't look it up anymore. But Lindsay Sterling was actually on the show too, and did some really cool music number for like the Tales series of games. So
she's still around. She does good stuff.
It's pretty neat.
Yep. No, to your point about Jeff Keighley, right? Jeff Keighley, yeah. Jeff Knightley, whatever. Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff.
I used to think his first name was Goff, if that makes sense.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah.
Goff Knightley.
No idea.
Yes.
It's like, how do you say this? That's a weird name.
I'm trying to remember what's her face said on What We Do in the Shadows about the name Jeff. I can't remember the quote.
Oh man. I have to rewatch.
Anyways, to your point about his shows getting better, I do agree. I felt, at least for this one, he had less of those like kind of giddy, weird moments where he was just super excited about something weird. But he's also doing a fantastic job, and we'll get into some of them here, pulling in big name publishers, studios, trailers. Like, you know, he's starting to get access and get people dropping stuff on his shows, which is cool. But you know, it's definitely interesting to see these game awards and stuff, and him hosting things like opening night live and stuff. Like it's getting better, which is good. It's good to get better.
I think it's because he handed off the editing rights, like the final say of editing, to somebody else, so they just scrubbed all the weird moments. They're like, nope. Even though it was live, there was I feel like there's a lot of pre-recorded there, but
I was gonna say we had no proof it was live.
Yeah, I mean, well, it said live on the thing.
Oh,
I think it's,
but
I think a lot of these
like
are
in an office, and then he was on a stage, and then he was in an office, and then like.
I think what it is a lot of this is pre-recorded and then it's streamed live.
Yeah.
Oh, right? I see what they did.
We've played that trick before.
Yeah, we've.
No, we've never done that before.
Yeah.
It's valid, but yeah, I mean, it's the shows are getting better, which is good. You know, I mean, I remember his the video game awards. Was that what it was called before the game awards? Years ago, was just cringy and weird, and not a lot of big announcements. And the last couple of years, it's getting better. Usually, each one is a little better than the last, so it's exciting to see that.
Speaking of game awards, what the heck was that?
I have no idea.
Like, I do not understand where I caught it. Like, I went back and started watching the whole thing again, but like I left work and I jumped into it and I was like, oh, they're giving away an award. Cool. I wonder what it is. And then they pull up 2 Ubisoft games.
Mm-hmm.
Just Dance 2022, Mario Rabbids 2. Neither one of those games are available for anybody to touch. Well, how do you call it the best Nintendo game of 2021 when we can't play them? Like, nobody could go play them. They're probably not ready for, voting. And then they have speeches after, like, thank you for the award. Like, no, what the hell? Go, like, no, you can't. Mike, preemptive.
Germany is like multiple hours in front of us, so they are in the future. So they probably know something we don't.
They got a chance to play it. I see.
I'll be honest. So this went live whenever I was working, so I kind of caught some of it. I didn't catch it all. So after work, I sat down and watched all the way through it again. I skipped those parts, so I don't even know what you're talking about. Because I was like, "Oh, Game Awards, this is dumb." Skip.
It felt like it was an obligation they had to do for someone, like a producer or something. Said, if you were going to do this, you have to do this. Do this little weird award thing.
That's so terrible. Like, they just had some lady, and I apologize for not knowing who she was, but it was just that bad. Like, I didn't even care to find out who it was. I was just like, oh, geez, we're gonna pop in real quick, and the best game for this goes to, hey. It's like, I don't know.
It was weird. Luckily, it was very short, and there weren't a lot of them.
That's true. It was. That was the other thing, is they reduced the amount of them. Like, it wasn't like the last Game Awards, like the real Game Awards, where they were like, I'm gonna list off 15 awards in 7 seconds, then we'll get back to the content. Like, why even do it at that point? I don't know. It's weird.
I agree. I think that was part of our talk last year when we did the Game Awards episode. It's like, oh yeah, we just show trailer, some like maybe performing some musical number, and then here's 18 awards.
Didn't we get Green Day last year? Wasn't that the?
I don't know, but it was this, that quick fire of awards, and it's good job. Okay,
it was weird last year.
You guys watched the pre-show at all?
Didn't know it existed.
Okay, so we are in the opening night live talks here. There was a pre-show. I got through most of it, but the only thing worthwhile, like in my opinion, my humble podcasting opinion, is there's a new game from the dudes and lady dudes that made Guacamelee. It's like an action adventure multiplayer game. It kind of feels like, have you ever played Enter the Gungeon by Devolver Digital or published by Devolver?
Yeah.
It feels like that kind of art style. And moving through the different worlds and stuff, but it looked super fun, and just the fact that it was like an action adventure with like buddies, I think super cool. Go check it out. It's called Nobody Saves the World. It's got RPG elements to it too, so there's a story and whatever else, but check it out.
Don't tell me what to do.
Well, I wasn't telling you.
Also, if it's Devolver,
Radioland, it wasn't Devolver.
It's not Devolver. Okay,
if it was Devolver, it's going to be fantastic, right?
No, I was going to say
not this game.
I was going to say if it was a Devolver game, it's not check it out. It's check a look.
True, which you'll have to check a look at a one coming up in the Chris's list of things.
I see. I forgot I left that name, the title on there.
So as we walk into the opening night live, there were some games that were talked about and shown. Lots of footage of things. I feel like we didn't get a lot of gameplay. Lots of CG trailers.
Yeah, ton of trailers.
But which is, it can make you a little nervous sometimes when they're touting these giant things. But let's jump into what they showed. Chris, do you want to kick us off, as it is your list of things?
Yeah, this is...
the first thing we saw was Dream Cycle from the creator of Lara Croft, which is not the developer, but the actual individual, I guess, who made Lara Croft.
Just her, not the Tomb Raider?
They were very explicit during the trailer, so it does make me feel like there's a reason behind that.
Of course, a dude made Lara Croft.
Well, yeah,
Isn't it Lara?
Lara.
Croft?
Lara.
I feel like it does change between certain series, but currently
it depends upon the accent behind you saying.
True.
Lana? Laney?
But yeah,
Lana.
Either way, it's a new it's an action adventure game that had a really cool style to it that I was super intrigued by, but looks like Matt managed to go grab more notes than I did on the game itself.
What were you doing?
Yeah.
Eating lunch.
Yeah.
And typing in random other notes to other games.
Yeah. No, I mean, to your point, though, there wasn't Mike's point is there wasn't a lot of this was just kind of trailer. There's not a lot of gameplay. So we don't know much about this other than it's coming really soon, next week, the 7th. Yeah. I don't know.
No,
Whenever the 7th is.
That'd be 2 weeks. A week and a half, I guess, at this point.
After the podcast.
Definitely. Yep. Okay.
Sometime after this releases, it'll be coming out.
God, I hope so.
Next podcast, it's in the late games section.
If we're done with Dream Cycle, I actually was kind of surprised at how much I liked the new Saints Row look.
Yeah, I'm kind of pumped for this.
It is good. Brand new.
It's
Saints
a reboot.
Row.
Yeah.
It's completely starting from ground zero. So new area, new characters, all kinds of awesomeness. And that trailer was just. I hope you can actually knock things off the building to kill people below.
That would be really sweet.
Yeah. If you're in a car chase, being able to get up there and be like, take that, right? Super cool.
No. So it looks fun. I am going to miss some of the original characters, though, I think.
Yeah.
Just because they were so iconic to the game. This still should be a good time.
But just because it's a different... since it does take place in a different city than the original games do, maybe there's a chance that someone, Shantae or someone comes on by, or
Well, there's supposed to be Easter eggs to the original like games in there, so I'm sure we'll see like a Johnny Gat mask sitting in a store somewhere or something along those lines.
What's the over/under on there being a giant dildo weapon?
I don't know.
I feel like at this point,
asking the real questions because I was wondering that too.
I mean, they're speculating that this one pulls a lot of influence from Saints Row 3 specifically. So hopefully, if that's the case, we'll have outlandish weapons, much like the dildo bat, and of the like in there.
Will they have the dubstep gun?
I don't know. That one was pretty funny too.
Also, I talk like I've played any of these games. I never have. None of them.
Dude, you got to go play Saints Row 3 at least. That one's amazing. It's funny.
New book club idea.
Dude, seriously, get it.
It's too long. We're not gonna.
I was gonna say you'd only be able to give impressions.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from book club, like just get it and play it. It's got to be dirt cheap now on Steam.
Because for book club,
I don't know. They gave it away for free on the 360 at one point, so it might be backwards compatible.
I probably have it then.
And 3 is available on Epic Game Store as of right now.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Let's ask the question here: who's actually bought a game off EGS?
I've only got
can you pay for games? I've
redeemed some of their free games, but I still have not bought anything through there.
I redeemed a ton of free stuff off of them, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to give them my money, but I'll take all the free stuff you want to throw my way.
They're just a small publisher, just.
Yeah, I know. You're
supposed to fighting a good fight for the little man.
If it's for free on their site, you're not stealing it. Like they're giving it away. Like there's no. That's just their business.
Oh, Void Bastards too.
Yeah.
Yooka-Laylee.
Void Bastards is such a good game.
I think Yooka-Laylee's on. Yooka-Laylee, I think, is on Game Pass. I wouldn't buy it.
No, this is the free stuff. I'm not buying it.
Gotcha. Yeah, we won't play Saints Row for our book club because our book club, we keep games to 10 to 14 hours in that window. So if you do have suggestions for us for the book club, feel free to throw some games out that reach that 10 plus ish to 12 hours. If it's a bit
less
bigger,
than 10 hours.
This is true. Undertale was definitely like a 3-hour game. So, yeah. Chris, are you excited for new Marvel?
This one probably not as much as other ones could potentially be. And Marvel Avengers, it does still kind of leave a weird taste in my mouth.
This one had me intrigued by the trailer because I like Wolverine and like Ghost Rider and stuff. And the whole trailer, I was like, God, this is going to suck. And I was just sitting there holding my breath, waiting to see Capcom show up on the screen. But then it didn't. So I have hope because it's somebody else.
It's Fire Access Game, the guys behind the XCOM series.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about that is I'm not big into the turn-based aspect. So, I mean, that game doesn't look like it's going to play that way. But, I mean, we'll see because it was all cinematic anyway. But
I would be more worried
by it.
With those guys, I'd be more worried about performance and running on your machines than I would like the gameplay. Because they have great gameplay. Even, I love those games. But performance-wise, even some of the beefiest of machines don't hold well. So
I want to know when we're going to get an actual movie from Disney on this, because I thought the trailer looked cool. I was like, I don't want the game. I want an actual a
Midnight Sun
Avengers type movie with these characters.
Oh, I'm sure they'll get there at some point.
I'm not I watched movies.
2061.
I watched the Blade movies and they were exciting. The third one.
Yeah, Blade was in there too. I forgot.
But when I saw Blade come in, I was like, holy shit, that's right. He's Marvel. That's so cool. I don't know. I like the cast of characters. I think it'd be really cool to have an Avengers style movie with them.
Yeah. Are you saying that Blade fighting Dracula was not awesome?
God, that movie was so bad. I'm excited for the next Blade movie, TV show, whatever they're doing.
That reminds me of that Morbius movie. I forgot that was coming out.
Yeah.
I hope that's good.
Hey, Marvel has cast their Blade again.
I forgot they did.
Snipes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's Wesley Snipes, right?
No.
The recast him. That'd be so awesome.
Well, he's going to be brought into the Spider-Verse that they've opened up. So we're going to have Wesley Snipes come back.
All right.
Yeah. No, I forgot the name of the guy now. He was in the last season of True Detective.
Woody.
No.
Woody Harrelson?
That's the first season.
Could you imagine Woody Harrelson being Blade?
Ridiculous.
I would love it. I would love it.
I'm not even gonna try to do the voice.
I want that now. Yeah.
But anyways, we will get gameplay footage of they gave us a promise that we'll see gameplay debut of this Marvel Midnight Suns game on the 1st of September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably the same day it drops. That's the same release. Like, just didn't give a release date. They're gonna shadow drop. Like, Midnight Suns available. Here's a gameplay video.
We have no faith in it. Here it is. Just play it.
I don't know. I probably won't pick it up.
This one is going to be a see what people say and kind of go from there.
Learned your lesson on the last Marvel game.
I mean, no, because we knew going into it that it wasn't going to be as good as I wanted it to be, and the campaign I still contend was pretty fun, but that it's not worth $60.
Hopefully, Guardians of the Galaxy is better.
Guardians, I can't wait for. I'm excited.
Oh, that
for
looked
that one.
so bad. No.
It looked like it could 50-50. It could go either way.
It looked
like
so
it could be
bad.
great or terrible.
It's fun.
It's so bad. Like, go pick up Lego Marvel 2. Just go pick that up and you'll be just fine.
Oh, dude, the first Lego Marvel Superheroes was fantastic. I played the hell out of it.
Go play those.
Yeah, I've been
instead of these other ones, because those are amazing.
They are really good.
My kid loves flying around as Star-Lord, just blowing everything up. It's pretty great.
I spent so much time playing the first Lego Marvel Star Wars. Lego Marvel superheroes game that it turned me off to every Lego game after that because they're all the same freaking thing.
That's
like
part of
the formula is the same. Like they need to really change something up with that. And maybe they have recently, and I don't know, but like I 100%ed 1,000 achievement that thing just because I wanted to. And it's just like I can't touch another Lego game since then because it's like, oh, this is just the same thing again. No.
Like Assassin's Creed, I played through 1 through 4, all in like a matter of a year, and I didn't touch another Assassin's Creed, I think, until last year or something like that.
Oh yeah,
played Origins.
I need to go back and finish Origins.
You get burned out.
So good.
Go check out the Lego City Undercover stuff. That's actually, it's like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, nice. That one did look pretty cool, actually.
Can it go to the strip club?
No,
murder hookers?
No, but
dicks and bricks.
Yep, pretty much. It's a good time.
Nice.
Who's excited for Call of Duty?
Well, according to the notes here, Matt's super excited.
I am super excited.
Oh, he is. Yeah, it's on the notes. It's got to be true.
Obviously, I'm super excited about this game. They showed off. This was actually, they announced this last week after we recorded the previous episode. But then by the time Gamescom rolled around last week, they showed multiplayer, and now today they showed single player. So super excited for both of these modes, along with the Warzone content and zombies that they're bringing. This is a crazy game in general. That, I mean, this isn't unheard of now for Call of Duty, but they have 3 studios working on this. Sledgehammer did the campaign. Treyarch has done the zombie mode, and Raven Software is doing the Warzone integration. That's just the way Call of Duty's made now. I mean, you'll see
all 3 together. Forget independent development every year. No.
Well, okay, so
still have Infinity Ward, and they're working on next year's, and then once.
Oh yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
I'm guessing Treyarch and Raven will roll off of this, and then start helping them with next year's stuff. So, I think Treyarch and Raven Software I don't mean this in a mean way to everybody that works there if you listen, but the bitch studios, they're just the ones that are just...
Well, that's what they do now.
Well, one of them's in Wisconsin, so that's just automatic.
So, I mean, I am someone who's played almost all of the Call of Duty console games.
I'm the one excited for this?
Well... I like the campaign.
Well, it says you have a mega boner, Matt, over this.
It does say that now.
Obviously.
But
the notes make it true.
Yeah.
The mission that we did get to see kind of had some interesting aspects to it, though. As I wrote it in the notes here myself, the animations look super rough, and it looks like they are canned from earlier games, which is annoying. But I don't know. It's
there's a toll that. So these games, their focus this year probably for this game was get things like ray tracing and 4K, right? You know, like this same engine. I know roughly there's kind of different branches. I think that Sledgehammer and Infinity
they're not
War
all
use,
on the same engine,
but they're very, you know, like I forget which. I think it's Infinity Ward is usually the ones that like they develop like some new tech, and then Sledgehammer branches something like that. They branch off that, and then they add a little bit there, and they just kind of just constantly improving the same engine from the early 2000s. I forget which engine it was they started on. And again, this is common. This is not unheard of that you just kind of keep improving your game engine. It's not. I don't think somebody out there could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but like a lot of these franchises, they just kind of keep reusing the same engine. And even when they say it's a new engine, it's like, okay, they probably just took 3 or 4 large components of it and rebuilt it and then called it new. It's not like they just trashed everything and started from scratch. Especially these yearly games. There's no way they can build a brand new engine in a year. But yeah, so like to my point there is like, I think they probably just focused on making it look sexy for the next gen. And, you know, like you still kind of have some of those older systems in there where, you know, they're probably reusing a lot of animations or not improving on it. You know, maybe that's the next thing they need to focus on, you know, for the next iteration is improving their animation system, you know, but yeah, I kind of found it wonky. Some of this, mostly I think my brain picked it out when we watched. So today's, footage was single player from Paulina. Where's her name? I had it written down here somewhere. Paulina Petrova. But while she was climbing up those walls, it felt clunky and janky, and yeah, it was just. But it's a Call of Duty game, so lots of explosions, killing, craziness. That, you know, it's a Michael Bay action movie, right?
Set in World War II.
Which on that note, follows 4 different. This is kind of multi-front, multi-national hero interweaving story where you play characters from various special units from the British 8th Army, the British British Army Parachute Division, the Scouting Squadron 6 from the United States Navy, and then Paulina Petrova from the 138th Rifle Division Red Army. So you're going to be jumping across Africa, I think the Eastern and Western fronts in Europe. So it's going to be kind of all over the place as you play these special forces units from these various countries. So
that might be fun. Getting like a wide range of different areas.
It's like what they used to do.
Cool. Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Mm-hmm. But it's Call of Duty, so I have zero hope that it'll be good.
I mean, this is back to, I say this a lot, and maybe I haven't said it on the podcast yet, but I do say it a lot to everyone else. I wish Call of Duty would allow me to just buy the campaign, because frankly, that's really all I care about. Their multiplayer kind of bores me at this point. But
how long have we been playing Call of Duty multiplayers, right? Like, I can't play it anymore because I worked on a few, and I'm done. Like, I don't care to do that anymore. But we've been playing that since, like, God, forever. Since Halo stopped being the most popular shooter, like, moving into Call of Duty.
Since really Modern Warfare was when it kicked up big.
Yeah.
The original Modern Warfare trilogy was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play the heck out of those ones. But since then, it just...
Never been a fan of them. Multiplayer, that is. So I used to play, I think, Ghost. I think it was the last.
I remember Ghost. That was
because I played all the Call of Duties up to
Ghost,
and then I stopped getting stuff for free and I stopped playing it.
The only thing Ghost had going for it, which I'm probably one of the few
was
people
fish
that actually
AI.
Oh right, the fish AI. I forgot about that. Yeah, because they'd swim away from you in the water.
What was it? I think normal mapping was their big thing too.
I don't remember.
Well, Ghost had the dog, didn't it?
Yeah, the dog was in there.
Yeah.
No, but I liked the what they tried to do. I forget who was the developer on that one. I don't remember.
Infinity Ward.
That was Infinity Ward.
Because I just remembered Advanced Warfare was Sledgehammer, right? That was the next year. That was actually the last. That was actually the last one I played.
And that one actually had a decent campaign, but that was just because of Kevin Spacey before his fall from grace. But I liked what they did in Ghost, where they did the alien multiplayer instead of the zombie stuff. because that was actually a lot of fun, and it was like the couple times I played zombies.
Extinction
it was just,
mode, yeah.
Yeah, like the zombie thing, it was just like, protect the place, earn enough money to get to the other door, where the alien thing almost had like a campaign to itself sort of thing. Like you progress through and then there was like a boss fight kind of scenario. So that I thought that was actually pretty cool. And it was too bad they didn't really do any more with that.
Yeah.
Because now it's just straight zombies. I mean, they look like they've done some really cool stuff with that since then, even though I don't play it anymore. But
that extinction mode I remember being kind of interesting. Now I played it in a rough state, but kind of to Mike's point, I actually did test that for a few weeks. But I was even in its rough early states, I was like, hey, this is pretty fun. It's a little different. So
yeah.
But no,
definitely wasn't bad.
Yep.
All right. Are we actually prepared to go on the next one?
So do we want to take Halo Infinite stuff and squish it all together at the end, like the notes at the Factory of Sadness?
Forget the notes at the end. That was just for reference when we talk about it now. Or we could save it to the end and leave the podcast on a bummer.
I would save it for the end and just
that's leaving this. I guess it means people could stop.
Think about what's going to happen when we start talking about this. We might as well just get the other shit out of the way.
You might see a grown man cry.
Halo is going to be one of those things that it's going to be before we start it. Good place to stop. Go take like a bathroom break. Go back to work, whatever it is that you do in between listening to us. This is a good break. Go do that because you're going to be in for it once we start.
If you're watching this later on YouTube, I'll put a chapter marker in at that point, so then like, okay, either you can go right to it and watch that little train wreck, or you could just stop right there and you're good.
I think you have to watch through all of this next part here just to see the anxiety build up on Matt as we work towards getting one piece closer to it. Did you guys see the Cult of the Lamb trailer?
I did. That
looks so good.
I love it. I love their little. I hope like if they do a lot of cut scenes, they're in that kind of animation style that they showed.
Oh, absolutely.
But something in my brain made me think of Happy Tree Friends the whole time I was watching this. If you've ever seen that, these cute little critters that just, get into interesting situations, usually very bloody and brutal situations. But like
playing in the background.
Yeah, it was a lamb get like the cut scene was this lamb gets its head chopped off and then I don't know, it goes to somewhere and it gets some little friend and it comes back to life and starts murdering things and forms a cult and has all these cute little creatures.
It's Devolver Digital, man. That's why it's good right there.
Yeah, massive. It's being developed by Massive Monsters and published by Devolver Digital. So this will be, if you know Devolver stuff, they pick out some winners, in my opinion.
Now we got to sign up for that. The monetization subscription service that they offer, right?
Yep.
Whatever that was called.
Oh God, that was so good.
No, yeah.
What the hell did they call that? Devolver's.
I forget. It had a pretty long name, didn't it?
Was the monetization Max Pass Plus?
That's what
it was. So monetization as a service, Max Pass Plus. It'll probably be on there. So.
We're kind of getting some like Binding of Isaac vibes from some of these boss fights here.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, they got a bunch of I'm down. Looks good.
Yeah,
it looks gory. Fun. It looks fun, and it's adorable. Like
I liked it. It looked like you could build your own little cult village.
Yep.
Get your cult to go out and help murder things.
That's amazing.
It's really exciting.
Chris, are you excited to murder things as a sheep? Because that's going to be a book club.
Sheep. Yeah, I'm gun ho to play this one. It's not the normal game I would play, but it looks like it will be a lot of fun.
Matt, are we just following along the blues, or do you want to talk about these other ones? Super Monkey Ball.
What?
No, the real thing that we're looking forward to here is TMNT Shredder's
Revenge.
This game
looks just like a lot of fun.
I'm excited for this.
It's got that old feel from like the original arcade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be super cool, I think, as long as it's done right. My only concern is if it's like really short.
Yeah.
So if you played the arcade ones back in the day, they're super short.
Oh yeah.
But it makes sense because you had to pump in quarters to play it.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they also did that thing that I don't know that games do anymore, like newer games, where you had a life count as well. So like if you bought it for like the Super Nintendo or whatever else, you had lives. So you couldn't just keep going no matter what. It's a lot like a roguelike in a sense, right? Like you have so many retries and you start over. So I just hope that they take this a little bit further. Battletoads, I think, was a decent length. I enjoyed playing through that one. But I hope they keep this one decently length as well.
And it's, I think, still set for coming out sometime this year.
Don't remember.
We didn't get in. That's what I was looking up.
I couldn't find a release date for it, so
it's all I saw was 2021. So
a few more months. We're
all excited for it. So as soon as we find a date, I'm sure we'll talk about it on a future podcast. So.
Absolutely.
And we'll probably get together
really
and play it.
I like that you had to like shove pizza down your buddy's throat
to revive
bring
him.
it back up.
No, yeah.
And did it look like April O'Neil was a fighting character? Like
that's what they announced today.
Yes, that was the announcement today.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed some of the audio on it. I was like, "Oh, that's April punching stuff. Cool." I hope you get Casey Jones.
Casey Jones would be cool.
What's the Samurai Rabbit?
Let's
call him Flip Flop for now.
Yeah, Flip Flop.
He wore sandals.
Yeah. No, he was. Yeah.
I don't remember
his name. Miyamoto Usagi. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that. Well, like just off of the memory, I wasn't gonna get it now. Flip Flop.
I like Flip Flop. Let's call him Flip Flop.
Oh no, this is gonna get us in trouble.
Sounds super racist.
Yep.
Anyhow, looks good. Riders Republic. I don't know why we're talking about this one.
Yeah, who highlighted this?
I did.
I wanted to skip this.
I put this in there literally because of the notes I put there. One, it does apparently still exist. Two, I hate the NPCs. I've only seen about 3 minutes of them, but their personalities sucks.
They seem pretty
It's
friendly.
an Ubisoft game.
And that's just it. They're generic Ubisoft NPCs, and it just, I'm so bored.
I'm so over Ubisoft games at this point. I think the only I'll name a game.
Mario Rabbids.
I probably just named this one game. There's probably another one or two I'd play, but like Rainbow Six Siege is probably the only one I can think of that I might go back and play again because that was so different than their normal formula.
Sure.
I mean, get back into.
I'm gonna play Far Cry. I love Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Esposito.
In fact, I did. We're gonna skip over it, but I did put it in there. My only note for the Far Cry 6 thing we got is Giancarlo is the best villain in everything.
A few of the games here, much like the Microsoft showcase, like all we did was get there's nothing new. I mean, there was a little bit of new story trailer, but there was. It's just here's a little more Far Cry. Hope you guys remember it. It's coming out in a month and a half.
Let's be blunt. For as much as I'm excited for the game, you don't need to know anything. It's Far Cry. Far Cry 6. Let's move on. Like,
I will argue Heath Ledger's Joker was a better villain,
but he was not in any of the Far Cry games or any of the other video games.
But you're saying in everything.
Yes.
So you can't. We haven't seen him in Far Cry 6 yet, so you can't use that as your like leverage point.
I was about to make a comment, but I realized it's grossly inappropriate, and I'm not going to make it.
I feel like maybe you should.
Nope. I try to portray myself a very specific way, and I'm going to keep that one buried down.
Fair enough.
Throw
it in Slack so at least we can see it.
Okay, yeah, I'll toss it up there.
I thought the best villain, honestly, was Cockknocker. From Batman and Chronic movie.
Absolutely.
I
have
I mean, it is Mark.
How'd you
Knocker action figure back here somewhere?
That's amazing. That is amazing.
On to more kid-friendly stuff.
On to more Mark Hamill stuff.
Yeah, more Mark Hamill stuff. Yep. This is a game that Dan is going to be insanely excited for. He's gonna 100% it, get all the achievements.
Absolutely.
Start to finish.
I'm super pumped for this game.
So it looks super different. Did they? So I only got to see video of this. I didn't get to hear the audio.
The game we're talking about is Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
No, don't tell them. Then now they know.
They have to figure it out for themselves. Context clues, damn it.
Did they completely remake all of the Lego Star Wars games to do this? Because there's a lot of scenes because the kid and I have been playing through Lego Star Wars recently. There's a lot of stuff that I don't remember from what I've been playing.
Don't think it's a complete remaster of all of them. I think they definitely change things.
They just keep re-releasing them because I think I still have a copy of it for like the first Lego Star Wars and the original Xbox downstairs. Like they've been doing that for so freaking long now.
Yeah,
so
but
they got to be doing something new at this point.
The models looked spectacular.
Oh yeah,
like the whole thing looked really like Lando Calrissian looked amazing running through and shooting stuff, and I don't remember there being like a third-person camera view of Lando sliding into stuff and shooting. And then there were some Millennium Falcon bits that I was like, I don't remember doing that.
And
is this one supposed to be like a remake or reboot kind of thing?
This is just to cover the whole saga, is my understanding. So there'll probably be stuff that feels familiar from the previous games. But my understanding is it's kind of like, what do we call like Resident Evil 2? A reimagining?
Yeah.
It's like a rematch.
Okay.
Because you can
I think
jump
that's
to
kind of what this is.
willy-nilly.
Yeah. That's the cool thing I thought was they showed off what looked like the star map where you could just jump to whatever area you want. I'm sure there's probably like a campaign mode where you can start from episode 1 and go to episode 9. But it looked like, you could just probably jump to whatever planet you want and do whatever there.
So some of the biggest notes, this is from previous events. It's 45 missions in total, 5 missions per movie. The original games focused on 6 missions per movie. So there is obviously either they're dropping content out of some of them or they're condensing story. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, frankly. It just looks like a ton of fun.
Probably going to be good.
I might actually have to watch Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, not to understand what's going on.
No, clearly, but so that I don't spoil it with the game itself.
Oh, sure.
I unfortunately own that movie.
I've seen it.
If you need to borrow
a lot.
It's on that Disney Plus service.
Also true.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks fun. I haven't played a Lego game in forever, but when I kind of did play it, like to Dan's point, it was like, they were fun, but
they become the same.
The same, yeah. I remember. I don't even remember. It was one of the Star Wars ones I played, and then the Indiana Jones one came out. I was like, and a buddy bought it. I was like, oh, I'll give it a try, and I started playing. I'm like, yeah, it's just the same. And I went and played, I think, Mass Effect or Arkham Asylum. I think at the time, or whatever. Whatever.
Good choice.
Hey, I actually did open my copy of BioShock today.
Good.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you play it or just open it and
just
smell the new box smell?
Opened it and stuffed the cartridge in
your little
trash
box
holder.
Yeah. No, that's my hold on to the games close to me. So if I'm in the middle of a poo, I could swap out.
It just sits on the shelf right behind it.
Yep. No, it's I'll get into it one of these days, but
the first one's really good.
Minerva's,
the third one was all right.
The second one, the expansion is ridiculously good. Minerva's Den is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it comes with all.
Yeah.
All. So it's a collection. But Okie dokov.
Would you kindly already play it? Would you kindly play it?
I will play it probably very viciously and kill as many children as possible to get the powers.
Chris is picking up what I'm throwing down. Anyways,
would you kindly move on to the next game, please?
Would you kindly?
I just did. I literally just said Okie dokov, and then you were like, "Can you just please move us along?"
Would you kindly calm down?
I was already there, Matt. You host this thing.
Okay. Welcome to the Campfire Gaming Podcast. I'm here. Anyways, this game looks weird. I like it. I probably won't play it since it looks like it's supposed to be like Pokemon. But is it Dokev? I don't know.
Yeah.
Dokev. This had to be great for anybody that was watching the stream and was like high or something like that. Because this was so like weird. There was like what looked like mascot things, and then you were fighting stuff, and then it like you were sucking them into these weird boxes that remind me of like Ghostbusters, and then I had to Google what the game was about.
I didn't even bother.
I was like, because your notes were like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I need to at least know what type of game it is. It's apparently a monster collecting MMO.
Yeah, I wrote, graphics lighting looks amazing, and I don't understand what is happening.
I didn't either when I was watching the trailer.
Do you know where Pearl Abyss is? Like where their studio's located? Because they did Black
Singapore?
Desert, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Singapore or South Korea?
I was going to say it's South Korea.
Perfect. So this is spot on to what I'm thinking. This is, if you've been on Netflix at all with children in any way, shape, or form, there's just been a ton of like South Korean content where it's like anime-esque type, and they all have this art style. So if you're used to seeing those things, like a South Korean, anime or art style, this absolutely fits the mold. However, it looks goofy as hell. Like that style, it's really hard to get used to. Like when you're watching it, if you're not used to it, it's kind of shocking and surprising a bit. But it could be really cool. A lot of people have wanted like a Pokemon MMO forever, and Game Freak has always been like, "F you, we're not doing it. No, stop it." And all the like fan-made versions are getting taken down. So there's only a few other options you can go with. So it's kind of cool to see a monster collector MMO coming out with somebody behind it that's got, experience with this, with like Black Desert. So I think it'll be neat. It looks interesting. I think it looks super pretty interesting. But at the same time, who knows what the premise is other than monster collecting?
I think if I play it, I'm going to have to find some drug cigarettes.
This trailer is wild.
Yeah.
I like that we're getting Dan's live reaction to the trailer in the middle of our podcast.
I didn't have time to watch a lot of this stuff, and this is just weird. I haven't seen one monster get captured yet. I don't even know how that comes in.
No, it took forever to get to that point. That's why I got so confused.
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't pee yourself, Matt, because I'm getting a lot of like Sunset Overdrive influence from like the traversal stuff going on in this.
Looks like Matt's going to be playing.
You don't know if I peed myself a little bit.
It's a good point. He's not as open as he used to be about that.
Yeah, not since the incident.
The Waterworld incident. Anyways, Park Beyond.
Did you pee in a Disney attraction while you were at Dan's? Is that what happened?
I will not confirm or deny anything I did while I was visiting.
Is that why they shut down the fountain?
Engineer. I was a fountain. Okay. They didn't like it. Park Beyond. I just wanted to kind of mention this because I keep meaning to play Planet Coaster, but I haven't. But it's kind of a Planet Coaster-y looking game, but with like weird rides. Like, if you ever did a lot of those old roller coaster tycoon stuff, at some point you might save your game and then start messing with the dials on your different rides, causing issues. This one almost seems like do something crazy, but it'll be on purpose. You're not trying to murder people though, or cause it to crash. Yeah. But like, there's things like where like you're shooting roller coasters off tracks over to the other side. Like, it's weird. It kind of looks cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get any gameplay. It was just a CGI trailer, but it seems to kind of explore the like make some weird theme park rides.
Yeah, it'll be intriguing to see how much hand in the creation the player gets, or is it just kind of like a regular tycoon game where you're just stamping down that plot?
What is that game on Game Pass that allows you to just build like a quick little roller coaster, like Thrill Ride? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, Thrill Ride. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It'll probably be a lot like that. I think you kind of
that wouldn't be bad.
The way you get to put it together, because it really sounded a lot like that. Just based on your description. I did miss most of this. I just saw like a person step out from like a tube.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we don't know much about it, but I'm curious to see how creative you can get, or if there's a lot of guardrails, right? Like,
right.
They're like, oh, here's a Ferris wheel, and they just like stack it, or Ferris wheel carousel. The round
the carousel. Yeah, that was a carousel.
Yeah. But I mean, the Ferris wheel, both of them, like they're like, so the carousel is like, oh, let's stack it like one of those multi-layered cakes. But I'm like, is it like, oh, just be creative and you can change the theme of it and pick how many stacks you want to do? Or can you actually really do some like crazy stuff? Same thing with the Ferris wheel. It's like, oh, there's all these different intertwined wheels and it kind of looks like was it like your serpentine belt in your engine, right? It's got like, but like, is that like, oh, you just choose how many of those wheels you have in there. There's 6 of them. Or can you actually create some like insane,
right.
It'll be interesting to see
how many. I kind of want to make a like 500-foot tall carousel.
Exactly. You might be able to. We'll never know.
Yeah. You'll never find out.
Or we'll find out whenever the game comes out.
Next year.
You guys want to talk about Horizon? I know that's a terrible game. Nobody plays it.
Yeah.
This is exciting news for PlayStation people.
I will say that this is about like the only PlayStation specific thing we actually have to talk about. So
we should mention it.
I mean, I'm excited for the game. I love Horizon Forbidden Dawn. The new Horizon Forbidden West looks really good. I'm excited for it.
Does it still take place at dawn?
No, this exclusively takes place now in West.
In West, got it. No, I haven't played one. I've never. I don't even know, like what you do in the game. It just looks like you might ride dinosaurs.
Yeah, you ride and fight robot dinos. I mean.
Oh, that's right. That's this one.
Yep.
It's Jurassic Park. This robot dinos.
Yeah.
So,
but they announced when it's coming out, which is the February 18th of 2022.
One day after my birthday. Booyah.
Merry birthday.
So going back to that weird Pokemon type game, because I think we said it. Well, I think we said it was an MMO on here, right?
Yeah,
that's
not. Somebody apparently tweeted saying, "Oh, upcoming world MMO, open world MMO game," and the official Dokov or whatever Twitter page responded and said, "Thanks for the love. Dokv or whatever is actually an open world action game, not an MMO. But regardless of genre, we're going for fun, cute, and exciting."
Matt, you gotta stop getting your news off of Twitter.
I just need to Dan needs to get off his ass and stop just being our audio engineer and also be our fact checker. So
that's what Facebook's for. Just put it on Facebook.
I'll put it on Facebook. Okay, fine. Anyways.
Dudes, we're getting some Valheim stuff.
Well, on important news, though, Deadmau5 is pronounced Deadmau5 5, apparently. The people need to know this.
It wasn't highlighted. I'm sorry. I was just looking
for... Go to your Vikings. You're good.
Just looking for color. I don't understand. Like, I played Valheim all of once, and I built a tiny cabin outside of Chris's castle.
Yep.
I don't get it. Those like big sandboxy survival world games. I think it would be a lot of fun to go fight the bosses with you guys, but like I am not going to take the time to build out all the weapons and everything I need to get there, or like get the recipes to get there, I guess.
Yeah, that is a big part of it. And fortunately, really, you don't have to, because between Rich, myself, we have all the supplies that are really needed. We took down almost every boss so far, aside from one.
And that's just because you haven't found him yet, right?
Yes, we are working on that to solve the hunt. Because I haven't heard that the new... So Hearth and Home, the new expansion, comes out on the 16th of September. As far as we're aware, it really only adds stuff to building your house. It's not adding any new bosses or anything. So the pressure for us to go find that boss hasn't increased, because we definitely want to do that before new ones get added. But yeah, it just adds more stuff to build, which is kind of fun for some of us, just not for Mike.
No, I just like I enjoyed building stuff too. It just like the amount of time isn't there. Like I don't have the time to sink into it.
It definitely does take a lot of time to get used to it.
I'd rather go, jump on like a plug for Pokemon Unite. It's a 10-minute game no matter what, because it's got a timer to it, and it's, it is what it is. And that's a nice little, you can pop in, do it for 10 minutes, you have to get out, you can get out. With Valheim, great looking game, like in general, like it's a lot of fun. It's just, you have to sink so much time in it.
Yeah. I mean, Bone Mass took us 2 hours to get to and defeat one of them. And
The other one is still out there.
the other one's still there. And then the dragon took us 2 whole nights because he wiped us the first time pretty hardcore. So yeah, it's not a game for, you need time to be able to play it. I will say, if you are listening to this, if you join our Discord, you get access to our team Valheim server, which, yeah, it's nice and open. And if you drop into the chat, a lot of us are willing to jump in and help you push further into the game, unlock certain things.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Like, your guys' setup is really cool, having like the castle built with portals and shit. Like, amazing. So join us for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Are we seriously talking about Death Stranding still?
We don't have to, honestly. No.
Do we care?
The director's cut is coming on September 24th. There's new delivery methods, facilities, missions and weapons, new music. And on to the Factory of Sadness that is Halo.
I have a quiz for you really quick.
Oh, sweet. I love quizzes.
Halo quiz. In 2021, what was the game that they released for Halo that sucked ass?
Oh.
Well, they haven't released it yet.
In 2021, they will, though.
No, it would have been...
Just say it, Matt. You know you want to say it.
Call of Duty Vanguard is my final answer.
I just want you to answer that it's going to suck.
There's a lot of red flags that have popped up over the last week.
And do red flags suck? Just say it.
Generally, they're not a good sign.
So
I don't know. It's not out yet, so I can't.
Okay,
answer that.
Fair enough. We did get a release date for Halo Infinite, though. That is one thing that came from this. So we'll start off with that. December 8th. They need the time. They absolutely need the time. December 8th, you can go potentially play both the multiplayer and the campaign itself without co-op. We'll see if they can push it. Get there by the 8th.
Let's stick with the good news first.
And
good news.
There's good news here.
Something really cool, and I'm kind of sad that Matt wasn't able to grab one.
I am too.
But there's a new controller and a 20th anniversary Series X that will be available by scalpers.
We're trying to get one. Don't let them know.
Yeah.
It's just like the PlayStation 5s and the Series X currently. It's scalpers that are hitting those hard.
Sadly, yes.
It's not people that are getting them.
I was fortunate enough to be able to grab one of the controllers, the Elite controllers, but which I believe, Matt, you did too.
I got my hands on that as well. Yeah.
But this,
I thought they were all out, and then somebody messaged me like, "They're back up." And I'm like, "Okay." Bam, ordered it. The Elite controller looks beautiful.
It does look really nice.
The console looks really good. I wish they used the color scheme and design they had on the Elite controller on the console. I love the Halo 3 Xbox 360 console. It's the best looking Xbox console they've released so far to date, and I wish they would have done that similar. It's again similar kind of color scheme to the Elite controller they announced today and what should have been the Series X. But I had a lot of cool ideas here. I'm gonna tell you a cool idea. Phil Spencer, I know you're listening. I'm willing to listen. If you want to hire me, you probably should. You should have had this Master Chief color schemed Xbox One, your spinner light, the big grill up top, right? If you're vertical with your Series X, you should have a blue LED on the fan in there. So you kind of have this pulsating blue light look. Give me a cool little clear Cortana, or I guess the weapon, like action figure, like a little 6-inch action figure. You can slap right up there, like, because there's holes in the grill on top of it, right?
It's got to be like see-through, right?
Yep, a translucent looking weapon, as she's called, or whatever, the weapon, whatever, right? And then to make it even sweeter, the cool Seagate expansion memory cards, you make that look like an AI chip that goes in the back of Master Chief's helmet. Bam! I have the coolest Xbox Series X design ever. Phil Spencer, hire me.
The problem with that is that sounds like a console that would be created as a love letter to the fans.
Yeah.
But
oh man, there's so much bitterness right now.
Hold on. Let's kind of keep with the good news first. Okay.
Oh, I thought we finished it.
So we got the release date. We got the Elite controller. It looks awesome. The console looks pretty neat. We also today got a trailer for the multiplayer. They're kind of doing stories with the season. So there's that CGI trailer out there. You get introduced to. Okay, I was angry enough that I didn't even write her name down. Whoever's in charge of that story. The other thing we also got kind of bleeded. A lot of this information we're going to talk about is actually from last week too. I guess a little over a week ago from when you're probably first listening to this. They put out a Vidoc, 30 minutes long. They talked about the flight that just happened a couple weeks ago. That went well. They got a lot of information from it, which is pretty cool. They announced that they will be doing a multiplayer. Was it like a 4v4 multiplayer in a big team battle flight next? No news on that. I was hoping they were going to announce that today, but no news from there. Just kind of some cool things from there. Just it was. I got to play it a little bit. It was pretty good. I think we already talked about that, but yeah, it was kind of fun. It felt pretty good. But I think, looking here, I think that's where the good news stops.
Still not sure where the good news was in there. Then.
Oh man,
I think it's going on. And also, we didn't get any single player stuff here at Gamescom. They did mention that a week ago in the Vidoc thing. So, I did get angry about that, and then I went back and read it. I was like, oh yeah, they did prep me and say there wasn't going to be any single player. But that also leads in, how's this? That leads into our first problem. We have a release date now, 4 months away. 3 months. Basically 3 months, because it's early December and it's late August right now. Right? We haven't seen campaign for a year. Over a year.
That's because it still looks like Minecraft.
In 3 months. And something is wrong with this game, and they're still releasing it on the 8th. There's no co-op campaign. What the hell's wrong with you, 343?
Maybe.
Dan turned his camera off in rage.
No, the stupid thing was fuzzy.
Maybe it's going to be just fine, perfect, and pretty. Maybe they just don't want to spoil how much they've done to change it until it's, done, because they cannot afford to do another
my theory is they just
update.
They know that people are just going to bitch regardless of what they do, so they're just like, whatever, we're just not going to show it.
So a lot of my arguments and problems come from two things, and this was my argument last year whenever I complained about their poor showing of the single player. This is Microsoft/Xbox's flagship IP. This is Halo. This made you. And they've also said it. And they also said the second thing. They've also said for over a year now, this is a love letter to Halo fans. So any of my arguments now come off of those two things, right? So that's where That's why I get mad about these things.
I'm going to destroy one of those arguments right away. Game Pass is now their IP.
Mm-hmm.
Halo doesn't matter as much as Game Pass.
State of Decay is going to take over their flagship IP.
Of the way they've showed at E3 and here at Gamescom, I think Forza is going to take over. Jeez.
Well, yeah,
not knocking that game, but they've spent a lot of time on Forza Horizon 5 this year, and not
it's so pretty.
When you show a giant pile of turds, you have to come back with something that looks absolutely gorgeous, right? You can't be like, well, here's the polished turd. Like, you have to give them something, and those Forza games are pretty. They are absolutely gorgeous. It is a console selling level of pretty.
But so the thing that bugs me though, and the red flags, is the fact that we're, again, go ahead, argue Game Pass, right? But this is Microsoft's flagship IP, Halo. This is Halo.
It's their mascot.
It's
maybe not IP.
Craig is their mascot,
Nintendo
but he's
has
part
Mario.
of Halo. Yeah, right.
Master Chief is Xbox.
Well, I guess at the time of E3, we didn't know it was 6 months out. We now know it's about a little over 3 months out, and there's nothing. There is nothing they've done since last year has brought any excitement to this. There was no energy even in the announcements at E3 or here today. there's something wrong with this, and I even put it in my notes is I can't wait for the Jason Schreier article after this game is released to see, because he's hopefully talking to somebody there, because something in development is very flawed here in Halo Infinite. The fact that we're not getting, we forgot to mention one thing. In the Vidoc last week, they mentioned that there's no co-op campaign until season 2, which is going to be 3 months later. So what's that? March, right? I guess. Right?
Yeah, that's what we
early March is.
I don't even have enough faith in them that they'll have that ready by then. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets delayed.
So that's coming early March, and then what's coming 6 months later in season 3 is Forge. 2 big game modes. Now I'm gonna piss maybe some listeners off that love Forge. I don't think that's a key pillar. I think it's a very big pillar of Halo, but it's also something I haven't used a lot. But it's huge in the custom game community. It's one thing that helps keep this player base alive after it's kind of dwindled off and everybody's off playing a new COD, right? But co-op campaign is the thing that I am so pissed about. I have played every single game with a friend on launch night, and now after 20 years, this love letter to Halo fans, they just give me a big fuck you, dude. This is not a love. I said this is not a love letter addressed to you.
I disagree about calling it a fuck you purely because it's not like they're not doing it. There's some issue, and it's coming late.
Like I said the other day, and I think you were here, Chris, when I said it. Like,
probably.
How the hell is it that a game like Crackdown 3 that went through development hell for years, had hands past a million different developers, launch with co-op mode? And yet a AAA company making a AAA title is delaying co-op because they can't get it to work right. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and this wasn't an add-on feature to Halo. We know this was in there in the plans. This isn't like, oh, okay, we got the game's pretty much finished. Now let's add co-op. No, it's like we were even saying with like PC support. That stuff is in there from the start. When to your point, we can even keep it to Halo, Dan. What game would we have gotten last year had this launched when it was supposed to?
Yeah.
Because that was going to have co-op. That was going to have Forge. That was going to be the complete Halo pack. What awful abomination were we going to get last year before they rightly delayed it to this year? And I think should delay till next year.
Yeah, I'd be fine with the delay. I mean, hell, just if you're not going to have co-op, just postpone the whole thing as far as I'm concerned.
And here's the argument I get tired of hearing. Oh, well, they can fix it later. It's a live service game, or just get us fans that just want to play the story and multiplayer. We shouldn't have to wait. No, you're enabling bad habits here, right? I think we touched on this a couple weeks ago with, and I think Rich and Cullen did a good job touching on this when we were talking about Blizzard. Is you vote with your wallets, and unfortunately, people are still doing that. People are fine with getting half-baked games. I guess me personally, I'm just tired of it. Give me a good game. It can still be live service. I got nothing against live service or games as service. But stop using that as an excuse to put out something half-baked or something that doesn't have a core feature. And I will still argue till the end that co-op is a core feature and should be there at launch for Halo.
Have you met Nintendo?
Yes, there are plenty of great studios I know, Mike, that make good games.
Nintendo,
yes.
like just
finished games.
Go get the Switch and you can play finished games.
Honestly, at this point, because it seems like I got screwed out of getting a Halo console, I might just throw some of my gift card at a Switch at this point. I was excited when I saw Walmart the other day had the Animal Crossing edition in there. I was like,
oh yeah, they blew up. They were all over here too. Like Target and Walmart had like 15 copies of them.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. They sold out pretty quick. But
it's it's very frustrating. And
it's even more annoying, like looking at that Reddit thread that you shared that like talks about the different features missing in the game since 343 took over. Like, what the hell? And I mean, this was an issue like what you were talking about, like games not coming fully featured. I mean, that was one of the biggest downsides that happened when you first started getting the Xbox Live stuff and online games where they could send updates to games.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they would kind of ship them early. It's like, oh, we can just send an update for bug fixes afterwards or whatever. And I mean, that's turned into the trend. And now we're going to have more stuff like this being a trend where it's like, we'll just add a major feature later. It doesn't matter. We'll just get it out there.
343 needs to be less Bungie and more Naughty Dog or Santa Monica or Guerrilla Games. putting out.
They want to be more like Bungie, like old Bungie, not new Bungie.
Oh, okay. I was comparing to current studios, right? Like, look at. I'm not going to say they're perfect. No game is perfect when they release, but all those blockbuster hits from PlayStation, they're gonna. I mean, they delayed Horizon. We just talked about
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West.
Forward West.
Or I mean, if you want a really
West.
easy one, God of War Ragnarok got delayed because they didn't want to crunch.
Right? They didn't want to crunch. They wanted to put out a quality game. And what also, again, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way is in this Vidoc before they announced that co-op was not going to be in there. Joe Staten, one of my heroes, still is, but I'm guessing he just had a shit of game handed to him that he had to get out in a year. He came on and told this touching story in this Vidoc about co-op and how he was playing through with his son. And then he's like, guess what? No co-op in Infinite. Sorry. We only want to put out a quality game. This feature that I was just saying was great and Halo fans have loved for 20 years. And it is an integral part of, it's like split screen. They effed up in Halo 5 by not including local split screen, right? Like, just 343 needs to be shut down, or
the biggest problem was,
or everybody fired,
or did they finally get rid of her?
I don't know. Management, maybe management needs to be cleaned out. I know they've cleaned. That was something we talked about last year. They cleaned house of a lot of management. It's just, I don't know what's going on there. But to your point, like you brought up there, Dan, every game they've released, 343 has released, Halo 4, Halo 5, the abomination that was Master Chief Collection when that first came out.
Yeah.
None of them have been finished. None of them have been a complete product. And this is not something you want out of a first-party studio making and controlling your flagship IP.
Do you think this comes out better than Cyberpunk in the end?
So
I think it will.
I think multiplayer, the little taste I have, and we'll have opinions when they do the next flight, assuming one or all of us get in. I actually think the multiplayer is going to be pretty good. We'll see. We'll have our opinions on that.
Because Cyberpunk has so much multiplayer.
But it's going to be functioning and good, right? Single player functioning, yes. A game that works, probably yes. I don't know. There's something. I don't have my hopes up for this open world stuff they're talking about. I think that was a poor decision. Chris, feel free to jump in instead of just laughing.
No, you're kind of going. I'm just going to let this go.
Yeah. I haven't started crying yet, so
you're
that's
saying
good.
You don't like the idea of Halo Wildlands?
I think it was a poor design decision in Gears to it all depends on the open world and how it plays out. The open world in Gears didn't need to be there. I don't know why that was there. I don't know why it was touted as a cool feature. Didn't need to be there in the 2 levels it was.
So what I worry about with this is, and this is my only knock on Wildlands, is that you get a mission, you go do it. Often, like, there's a patrol of some kind that really felt like it just extended the gameplay. Like, there was you drive to a location, you and your boys hit it with your drones and whatever, and clear it out, and you go try and leave after you're like half dead, very little ammo left. All of a sudden, here comes 3 patrol cars for no reason, and you're stuck there fighting for another 10 minutes. You're doing that longer than we're taking down the mission part. I just worry that they're going to not have enough content in the game and kind of do it very sparse, where you end up traveling for a long time, fight a whole bunch of stuff along the way, and then you're in another location doing whatever.
Yeah, like Gears 5.
Yeah, and well, to your point, that's the extreme that I hope doesn't happen. I don't want this to be an open soft Ubi world experience, because that was fun for a game or two, but they do it in everything. It's garbage, right? It's poor game design. The fact that they include it in every game they make other than Siege. There's probably some other ones. Go ahead, at me. There's probably a couple other games that they don't.
You're gonna get
fit that model, right?
Mario versus Rabbids.
Okay, AC Origins, Division, Ghost Recon, or AC, I should just say. I'll bet you. There's a couple other games I'm not thinking of, but I hope that's
Far Cry in there.
Far Cry. this go to an area and you have, to your point, just get distracted by random crap in the middle. God, it would make me laugh, but that sad laugh, that kind of like face palm in Rise of the Skywalkers moments, when something happens and I literally went like this. But if in Halo you have like a banished level, and the more you just piss them off, you get the like the stars in Grand Theft Auto, or to your point, Mike, in Wildlands, you piss stuff off, and I forget what that mercenary group. Yeah, more and more of them would come.
Now, what if it was that you got the banished pissed enough, and they're like max level? They send Craig after you.
He's a massive yeah.
He's the max level of the banished being pissed off.
I'd be okay with that.
Craig.
I'd be okay with that.
It's fucking Craig.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. I want to be a Halo fan, but 343 has slowly shown to me that they can't. They're not doing a good job. I don't know if it's leadership.
I don't know if it's is this their fault, or is this Phil Spencer who's not stepping in and like saying, "Hey, this is Xbox. Like, you are shitting on Xbox by not being able to do what you're doing."
That's what he should do.
That's a good point. Like, to me, I was thinking about that today. You can't. So 343 was been around longer than Phil's been in charge, so you can't lay Halo 4 at his feet. Maybe 5. I'd probably give him a pass on that. Master Chief Collection, and depending how this turns out, yeah, I mean, we've had over 10 years now of 343, and they've proven that. Again, I don't know if it's leadership. I don't know if it's leadership from like the CEO level, like Phil Spencer, that should be stepping in. But something's wrong there. This is unacceptable from your flagship IP and the studio that runs that IP. Completely unacceptable in my books, and I don't know what's going on there. Jason Schreier will hopefully clear that up for me.
I have a gut feeling there's never going to be a Jason Schreier article, purely because it's just not that interesting. I think it's just going to be poor management and not a clear objective, so it just doesn't materialize the way they wanted it to, and that'll be it.
They went and we just want to do open world, and that's the only plan they had.
I mean, we saw the bones of a game a year ago, over a year ago now. Yeah, we saw the bones of it, so we know there's a foundation. So this is literally at this point a question of what have they built onto those bones? What does this house look like? Yeah. And we don't know.
Yeah, but you could.
We're 3 months out.
You could typically tell if the foundation looks like shit. You shouldn't buy the house, no matter how pretty it looks on top.
But I would make the argument that, I mean, as a foundation, again, that it didn't look like total shit. It definitely wouldn't have been ready. It'd be tough to make it ready by that year, but
it goes back to my argument that I had last year. Flagship IP on new hardware /PC, and that was what you showed. Was it a bad looking game? No. Was it a bad looking game for your God of War IP that's going to be on your new ray tracing 4K machine? Yes. It was awful.
I think you're focusing on the wrong I don't think you're comparing it to the right game. Cuz you got to remember,
what's a better comparison?
Something with multiplayer.
Gran Turismo?
God of War is a single player experience. There is no other human being next to you playing with that game. But that adds complexity. We can't pretend like it doesn't.
Okay,
and that's the problem.
If you're talking about the big PvP multiplayer,
no.
Or are you talking about just co-op?
Both.
Because you could make God of War just as good as it is with co-op, and I bet you it would be just the same.
Doom Eternal looked great on PC.
And
had multiplayer, single player. It also proved that you didn't need open world. You just needed a good story, well-designed missions, and some fun gunplay.
The other thing that worries me about that open world thing is the little bit we saw at E3 didn't look that varied. And I mean, obviously that was only a tiny portion of it. Like, oh, you get to explore this Halo ring. It's like, well, unless they did a damn good job designing it, it's going to be very repetitive as far as what the environment looks like.
Well, it's the still, you're still on a Halo
Wildlands. Yeah. It's the Ubisoft worry that I have. Is it going to be that crappy open world? But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Chris, I guess when I compare it to something like God of War, it's more of just that quality, right? Again, that care for that IP. It's a like completely new person that came in and led that, and they still did a better job of creating a good continuation of the God of War story than from the previous 4 games. It just did a good job and put out a quality game, which is a flagship IP for PlayStation 5. It sells systems. Again, you can go in the argument that I believe that Microsoft isn't about selling systems, it's Game Pass. But you need to this is Halo. It's Halo.
As much as I'm an Xbox person, I mean, Sony has done such a better job handling their proprietary stuff than Microsoft has. And I mean, that's been true for the longest time now, but it's disappointing to see it being handled this way when you have such a big game coming. And like, I think it was you who said the other day, like, where's the hype train? There's no marketing for this. There's nothing.
There's no energy. But again, there was a little more energy around it in E3, I think, just because we did get a little bit more there. And it was like, oh, it's been a year. We're finally getting some. But like, there was no energy today when they showed this stuff. There was nothing on stage. I got more excited for, what was it? Cult of Lamb or whatever.
Yeah, Cult of Lamb. Yeah.
That dude yesterday that was talking about the Wasteland 3 expansion, there was energy there. When Joe came out and said, here's a launch date and here's a console and a controller. Nothing. Like,
So let me throw 2 things out. So Nintendo, again, going back to my home, Metroid Prime, right? They looked at it themselves and said, this is not what we expect out of our game. This does not meet the Nintendo quality levels, right? Would you have been happy if they did that with Halo? If they just said, hey, you know what? I don't know how long it's going to be. We're cutting the entire thing, gutting it, ripping it out, and starting over.
I'll wait.
I'd be happy with that.
That's where I'm different than I think probably majority of people right now is I'm willing to wait for greatness instead of just settle for mediocrity. That's why I'm like, look, hey, like maybe Joe came in, he straightened out the campaign. It's pretty good, but they're having trouble with whatever. Again, what did they change from last year where campaign was promised to be in it, which they did last year twice, to now where it's like, oh, it just doesn't work. What has changed makes me worried. But like, yeah, I will wait. To your point, if they even just scrapped the single player and said, hey, I mean, I guess at this point they probably would have to just put out the multiplayer, right? But I would wait another year if they want to delay it again to make a good game, to put all this stuff in there, to have a complete Halo experience instead of use live service as and get it on Game Pass and Halo / Xbox 20-year anniversary just to get it out to us. I'll wait for greatness.
Do you think this push has anything to do with the 20th anniversary stuff? Like making sure we hit a date too?
I think there's business.
Sure, yeah.
I'm wondering if
there's marketing stuff there. Yeah.
What marketing stuff? There's no marketing.
They just marketed a new console.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. My last bit is just to pull us back away from that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What was it? No, it just popped out of my head. There's another. The hell was it? Continue while I think.
Okay, I'll say this about this. Me, Matt, I have a character flaw of being hopeful. I am hopeful that this will be good. I'm still optimistic that this will be good. I do feel a little better about the multiplayer just because they've shown more of it. I am still concerned about the single player, but because it's an IP that got me into... I played gaming for a while, but really Halo and the Xbox really kind of pushed me into what I do now. Is just... I'm hopeful. I want it to be good. I want to love Halo again. And I haven't felt excited about Halo for a very long time. And I want that to be there. So I'm hoping it'll be good. I'm hoping all this stuff is just...
Are you? Hiding. Because you kind of just spent about a half hour just really shitting on it.
Yeah. So that's another thing I'm okay with. I'm okay about being critical about things I love. We can you want to talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, Halo, Star Wars. Those are all IPs I love.
Let's not talk about
Star Wars twice.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, Star Trek. Sorry, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Here's a glimmer of hope for you, Matt. Like, we have to also understand that this is the first time they're trying something with this open world aspect, this new like thing to it, right? They haven't done this with Halo. It's new to that team. They did a little bit Gears 5, different studio, but
different engine.
You get a little bit of difference there. Maybe this is, they're trying to find something that they can build upon in the future so that we'll get a better open world option. So being that it is a new style, you have to give it like some credit, some slack, right?
If you want my baseline, no. Okay.
How many other do we want to sit here and name other games that
do
cooperative campaigns
wait.
in open world settings?
Let me measure it this way for you. The Wii U is a giant piece of shit. Terrible design, terrible everything. But having that handheld controller with the screen in it gave us the Switch, right?
Yeah,
it's an obvious evolution.
Like, the PSP, the Game Boy Advance, the Sega Game Gear, all of those things also led to it. But this was how do we get high definition into a handheld that can also be a console, right? Like, so think about that with Halo, where we're looking at this is the evolution where Halo's going. This is just the baby steps, so you're gonna have to deal with your shitty Wii U to get your better one later.
I don't. If campaign is shitty and open world is shitty, I don't think adding co-op's gonna. But I got what you're saying.
If you want my honest,
history loves company, man.
If you want my honest theory, considering they do advertise it slightly as an open world game, though I've heard that it's originally when they talked about open world, it wasn't in the same sense as like a Wildlands or something like that. There was still some guidance to it. An open world game with multiplayer, with co-op, does introduce some new issues for how you manage a co-op game, especially with that kind of system. And I'm going to guess that's where the difficulties are. Yes, other games can do it. I understand it. I know you're going to bitch about it.
Halo
that's
does
fine.
It, though.
Halo not in a more open sense world.
In the multiplayer version of it, you're doing the same thing. It is a big open area.
But you're only loading up certain areas and then it jumps you back.
Yeah, you're only rendering where the other player is at too. It's not like you have to render both chunks of the world for both players if they're too far apart.
I'm guessing no, because it just bounces you as soon as you hit a checkpoint. The other guy bounces to you.
I mean, I'm talking about PvP multiplayer for like the.
Those maps aren't that big.
Some of them are, but you're tracking several players in it, right? So when you take an open world, if you split it up, all you're doing is rendering for two different people. You're not like you don't have to pull the other person into your zone. Each person playing it is just rendering a different part. And if anything, the hardware has gotten better, so they should be able to do it.
It depends on how well the engine handles it.
It's their engine.
Yeah, I know. I'm not.
That's where they fucked up.
But we don't. Yeah, exactly. We don't know how well the engine is designed to handle that kind of stuff. It could be something someone honestly forgot about how to develop properly, so it kind of chugs at it, and that's the issue. And it's not. They've talked about this being a very complex. The goddamn planet has wildlife. None of the other Halo rings have shown that kind of
wildlife.
Yeah, it had the weird bird creatures that jumped away pretty quick and left.
There was that big like tusk thing.
Borderlands.
Whatever that was.
Again, games have handled it, not games with this engine. So we're kind of making a lot of assumptions about it. And yeah, you can always find a million different games that have already done it. Not with this engine.
But the design of the engine has to include something like that, though. That's kind of where, like, to Dan's point, it has to be that this is like building, a space station with just one spot where it's perfectly great to blow the whole thing up. Like, that's what they did. Like,
look, I'm saying
we'll see.
There's a lot of things we don't know. And you can make assumptions all day long, but it's just that. It's just assumptions.
So if we go off of empirical evidence, 343 has not had a good track record of good games. So it's not an assumption at this point. It is, or it's not
This
something
is just
that we
their
don't
track
know.
record.
It's
This is
it
what they
something
do.
that we can assume based on their past.
This is what they do.
But yeah.
I get it's a new engine. It's just there's 6 years in development. We've already heard rumors of troubled management, development, trashing. Apparently, I think it was 2 or 3 years into the development, they trashed the game and started over and developed the Slipspace engine. Is the rumor or the information that has come out? I don't know. There's something wrong here. And I think to your point, if this was their first time with a game they were making this happen, or it was a new studio, sure, I'll forgive you. But track record says gone done fucked up now.
Didn't you just get done saying that they had trouble with this engine, and now you're completely rejecting the fact that they may have missed something in the development?
No. They rebuilt. They started a new engine.
They rebuilt. Yeah, but and this is probably a heavily modified Halo engine they already had. Just as we talked earlier in the show, I think probably just gutted it and built it up and then called it a new engine. But again, also, co-op is a core part of this. What is going wrong that you can have these? You've built some sort of networking and cooperative play into your engine from the start. You have these you can support. We have multiplayer. We have big team battle. That's not a
system.
No, you still use that kind of network.
The networking is the same, but the rendering is not the same.
But again, you render locally on your scene, and this isn't like you're rendering both yours and the other person's unless it's local. But then you trim down resolution, which then there's less stress on the system that way, right? You're not doing a full 40K at that point. You're doing 2 smaller systems, right? I don't think this is something that was built core into the system and something went wrong. And again, if this was their first time with problems, I'd maybe forgive them and go, okay, next time don't let this happen again. But
man, I'm just trying to give you some answers, and you're rejecting them out of hand. So,
I am.
So looking at the information, the Blam engine that was the previous to the Slipspace, Slipspace is the majority of the old engine. So it goes back to what we were talking about with Call of Duty.
I'm not a developer. I'm making a lot of assumptions based upon what I have, and I'm trying to give you something to latch onto, and you can choose to reject it if you want. That's fine.
Because of some of the because
I don't work for the goddamn company.
because of their communication and other things that if you weren't sure you could put. Why would you spend time developing bots if you weren't sure you could put in a core feature like cooperative? Get the dev team to work on that.
Because bots are based off the AI you use for the enemies already.
Cooperative gameplay is based off of your networking code and already built single player.
But it's rendering 2 different systems. You're rendering a more complex system in a single player game than you are in a multiplayer game.
But for only 2 people. Or is it 4?
Up to 4 people.
So that instead of 50, I don't know. Anyways, we're going to spin on this. Point is
Chris is always wrong per usual.
Matt's mad, and it will not accept any other arguments other than 343 done messed up.
I think we know they messed up. I don't think anybody's arguing that they didn't mess up. I think everybody agrees that this is a colossal screw up to not have this at launch.
Yeah.
Why it happened and what are the reasons? Again, we don't know. We're not going to know because they're never going to tell us. We can only assume that it was a screw up somewhere.
Matt's unhappy. That's the takeaway from this.
Yeah, but that's not what the chapter is going to be called on YouTube. It's going to be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, nobody started crying, so that's good.
Yet.
We
still have
tears.
time.
We still have time.
There have been tears.
There is, if it makes you feel better, Matt, there is an internet poll going right now to get Halo to move to Unreal 5. Unreal 4. I don't remember what it said.
That would probably be more than a year's delay.
Yep.
So that's dumb.
Well, you said you'd be willing to wait.
If that's what they
no.
If that's what they want to do, if that's what they want to do, and that'll make a better experience and a complete experience, I'll be happy to wait. It just seems like a very dumb decision at this point. After probably,
they should I honestly think they should just
delay.
Release the multiplayer and figure out the single player stuff. You do get into that window of how much of the multiplayer is going to, what's that word when you reveal something before somebody else? Spoil.
I think that's the main reason.
Part of it.
I think it's a big reason because they're tying a lot of the season story
together. Yeah.
But I might be singing it come December. I might be singing praises of how great the game is. I can tell you too, for sure, even if I love the game, both single player and multiplayer, I will still be unhappy that co-op is not in it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to add
I might be singing a different tune come. I'm okay to change my opinion as more information comes available, but I will still argue till the end that at least for campaign co-op, don't want to leave my Forge friends out there, but I'd put that as a close second on priority. But I will still
here's
complain
what the
about
truth
no co-op.
is. I have the truth for you, Matt.
The truth?
The truth. And it is not
the
that
prophet
truth.
of truth?
I will be, once you figure this out and agree with me, when you see it, you will call me that. We're getting a multiplayer campaign. We're getting one. It's just different. So we're getting the story mode in multiplayer, right?
You're getting the seasons. You're getting
the
stories.
The seasons are a type of story. It is a type of multiplayer story because the campaign is so god awful.
It could be. I'm scared of
that
it.
They were like, we need to rectify this somehow and give them something.
Now, is it a prequel or a sequel?
Oh,
it's an
interquel.
Why would you do this?
It is an interquel, as it happens at the same time.
It's
basically
a spiritual reboot. What do you call a spiritual reboot?
A new game?
Nequel?
Nequel?
Nequel? NyQuil? I don't know. All right. It's
a NyQuil because it'll put you to sleep. That's how bad the campaign is. I think it's going to be... I actually, just thinking about it, I think it's going to be extremely sparse. I don't think you're going to have much for the campaign. And if you play through it alone, you're going to find that. And that's probably why there's no co-op campaign, because they're like, what is the point of putting the co-op on there? Because it's so sparse.
I think this is going to be... I'm going to compare it to this game, but I don't think they're going full-fledged games as a service. I think it's going to be a lot like Destiny. Because this is I think their random number they picked is like 10-year game, right? It's like, right. So they're going to continue to add multiplayer and single player stuff or story to it. And I imagine that, I don't know if it's going to be yearly. I don't know if it's going to be every 3 years we get a big chunk of story dropped on us and a new multiplayer meta with new maps. But this is going to be, I think, very similar to kind of Destiny, where they just, for whatever they on 5-6 years now of Destiny 2, they just keep adding more story, and then they tell more story through the seasons. Again, hopefully they don't go what are they,
full
Destiny, but who knows?
I'm feeling like a Robert Downey Jr. quote here about it, but
oh my god,
I get the feeling that they're going to go full.
I think Microsoft knows that this game, no matter what, in and of itself, was never going to be... it's not going to have the sales numbers that other Halo games would have in the past, because, I mean, none of us are going to go buy it, no matter what. We never were.
If I get a hold of a console, I will have bought one, because the digital copy does come with the console.
Been attached to it, yes. But all of us were going to play it via Game Pass. That's just how it was going to be. So
I play it.
But
fair.
To your point, I think this goes into the whole new Microsoft model of things, which I completely am on board with and I agree with. I saw this coming for years and trying to tell people that this is more to push Game Pass. Like,
it's 100%.
It's not. I mean, it's still to make a good game, but this is to add value to Game Pass to get more subscribers on Game Pass. and that's what they're aiming for, right? And that's free to play multiplayer is going to be there to bring people in and bring people into the ecosystem. Whether it's that's why all these games are Xbox and PC. Why it's going to be playable by cloud. Again, it's all bring them into the ecosystem and play these games. So yeah, we might not get raw sales numbers of holy shit, Halo Infinite just broke this record. It's amazing, but it's probably we might see articles in a couple months of increase in Game Pass, due in part to Halo Infinite success, and then other people get hooked because cloud or other games or whatever.
Yeah, if you pay 3 months of Game Pass, you've bought a copy of Halo, right?
Yeah.
So if people continue to do a year's worth of it, then on that one game that pushes it really well, you've made, like 4 Halos. It's by far way more money.
Oh yeah, by a wide margin.
I say we end it here because we're just kind of spinning in the mud now, just reiterating. And
I want to end it.
We've been doing that for about 20 minutes. I
Thank you for letting me rage and vent, whether my arguments were sound or not. This all comes from passion and love and caring, although it may not sound like it at times. You should hear me talk about my Philadelphia Eagles.
You also should have heard him the other night during our business meeting. That was a long one.
Yep.
I'm happy I left.
Yeah, you should be.
We had a good time.
Oh, boy.
Well, campers, thank you for joining us as we dig through the salt mines. Again, check out our website, campfiregamingpodcast.com, where you can join our Discord. Check us out on Twitter at CampGamePod, over on YouTube, Campfire Gaming Podcast. And our Insta is Matt is sad at Halo. I'm sorry, no, it's Campfire Gaming Podcast as well. With that, campers, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening as usual, and we'll see you next time around the Halo.
The Halo fire. The ship fire that is Halo.